Ron.
Hello, good afternoon. You are watching Meridius Radio.
All right. How does it sound,
O-Man's
guys?
here. Oliva. We've got a super fantastic special guest with us.
Thank you.
Mr. Ian Szabo.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
Hailing from Whitby, Ontario.
That's right.
All the way from Whitby.
It's well worth the drive, boys.
Awesome.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I'm Oliver. This is Christopher with Ian Szabo, the founder of Flipschool.ca.
Thank you.
And as well, he's an expert real estate renovator, investor. And
For quite a while.
Working on it.
for years. And you were a chef as well.
That's right. Yeah, I was a
Freaking
chef for 10 years.
Man of
That's
many
awesome.
hats.
Was it downtown?
Yeah, I actually I worked at the Prince Hotel. I did my apprenticeship
sweet.
at George Brown, and then I did some competitions. I was actually on the Canadian culinary team, so I represented Canada for 3 years in the Culinary Olympics.
Wow.
Holy
I didn't even know
crap.
they had Culinary Olympics.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me put it on Facebook.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. My sister-in-law, not the one you met here, my other sister-in-law, my wife's sister, is same thing, culinary artist.
Really?
She went to George Brown.
Where's
She's
she?
working at what's that new hotel that opened downtown? It's a big name one. I don't know. It's one of the
Not sure.
I don't know. I can't remember the name of it.
What
But
is she?
anyway,
She's a chef?
I don't know if she's not like the head chef there. I just know
okay.
she is a chef.
Wicked.
Yeah,
for
she
her.
loves it. She loves it. And I love her food.
I bet.
Yeah.
But you're not eating much of it. You're leaning out, man.
I'm trying to. Well,
You're
we
leaning
just
out.
talked about. I'm trying to get into shape. I've been doing kettlebells, a little bit of running.
Good for you.
Yeah, and you as well.
Thank you.
You mentioned you've recently shed was 48 pounds.
46 pounds.
46 pounds.
Yesterday I weighed myself 46 pounds.
Wow.
I feel like a new man.
You were 46 pounds heavier.
Yeah, I was too.
Dude, that's like a 45-pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
You were carrying that shit around?
I know. You know what's brutal? I'm wearing a weighted vest now. So when I run my goal is to get up to the same weight that I lost, because I figured if I can run with 46 pounds,
That's what you used to weigh.
I'm actually building muscle. Because when
Yeah.
I was 46 pounds heavier, I was afraid of everything. You know, I was
Wow.
nervous. I was because of fear. You know, I was
Yeah.
overweight. I was fat. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't feel good. Like conversations like this would make me nervous because
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
You have a
for
lot
sure.
more confidence when you
For
do the
sure.
weight loss.
So that 46 pounds, like when were you 46 pounds heavier? How long? Like,
I'd
has
say-
it been? It's like a year.
I'd
18
say about a
months?
year, to be honest, because
A
I've been
year.
up and down.
Okay.
But just recently, like the last 3 months, a friend of mine, Paulo Traverso, he got me running. So I've been kicking some butt.
And that's really been the thing that's really getting you to shed it is the running.
yeah. I think when I did it for myself because I wasn't feeling good, and then I had recently had a daughter, my 11-month-old daughter, and it took us 5 years to have her. And I promised myself if we ever get through this, I'm going to teach her some valuable lessons in life, and I'm going to
Live by example.
live by example. And I don't want to. My whole life I was 160 pounds, and then when we went through all this fertility stuff, and I got stressed out, and I gained so much weight, and me and my
Wow.
wife had arguments, and her body was changing, and we had so many 10 operations, and financially I
God.
was struggling, and then we had this beautiful gift, right? And then I'm saying, okay, here I am. I'm 46 pounds or 45 pounds heavier than I should be.
Wow.
You know what I mean? What example am I leading for my daughter? And do I want to be out of breath
Yeah, it's
running
like
around?
what's
in
the whole
backyard?
point of having
Wow.
kids if
Right?
you can't even enjoy it?
Yeah, and not to mention friendships too, right? Like for me, if you're insecure about your weight or your work or your business, that affects the people you attract into your life. And I don't want
And
to.
you're not fully expressing yourself either, right? You kind of hold
Yeah.
stuff back and...
It's true, and you're at a point where it's kind of like I'm embarrassed to be this way, so I really don't want to talk to you too much because I don't want to share my deepest secrets because maybe that's
So a little bit more concealed because of it.
yeah, and everything on the surface looks great. Like, I have a good business and I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter. And that was my dirty secret. I was a skinny guy living in a fat man's body.
Oh my God.
So that ate away at me every day until finally I got some motivation and a friend helped me to
What
start
was it?
running.
What was the trigger that got you to be like, okay, I need to freaking do something about this? Because for me, there was one day I just saw myself in pictures of a vacation. I'm just like, what the fuck happened to me?
Exactly.
Because for years I didn't even realize that I was overweight or anything like that.
You
And it was
should
just
put that
all of a
picture up
sudden.
on Facebook.
I
You
see.
guys
It
gotta
is
see
on
that picture.
Facebook.
Oh yeah,
It's just-
that's right. It is on Facebook.
It's just
Yeah.
out of nowhere. I'm just like, what the hell? Why do I look so disgusting? Was that the same thing with you?
Yeah,
Just a switch?
there is a couple things that keeps me motivated now, and I think first of all, I looked in the mirror and I'm like, that's not me. Do you know what I mean? I used to be active. I used to do a lot of things. I used to take care of myself.
Yeah.
That's not me. That's something I've been neglecting for a long time. And I seen those pictures, and that really killed me. And the second thing was, if I'm selling who I am as a person, and I'm selling, you know, books and programs, and I'm buying real estate, and I'm teaching people how to buy real estate, I'm a liar. I'm a fake if I can't control my own personal life. And when I'm in control of somebody else's life, and I'm advising you on doing things, if I can't be 100% honest, and if I can't look in the mirror and say I like this guy, then I could be potentially, you know, interfering with your life. I could be making decisions that aren't correct for you or you, Chris. And it was trying to be more authentic. I'm trying to be more grounded, and I belong to a mentoring group with Philip McKernan, and we've been doing that for.
Are you still part of that?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm working
this is a third year now or something.
This is the second year. We're going to be starting
mid. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for 5 years. So my goal going in this year was fitness, and I think I've reached it. So when I go back, I hope I'm not going to get beat up too much. But it's been cool.
That's
awesome. Yeah, because when the first time I ever saw you or met you, that was probably about a year ago, and you've changed completely. I mean, you can see it on Facebook. Every time I see him on Facebook, I'm like, cool, he's doing something new. I saw the weighted vest. I was like, that's cool.
That's crazy. It's not that cool running with.
I'm sure.
Especially in this, man. It's freaking hot.
You're going to get out early.
I get a lot of motivation, like, I don't know, I just think about my family, and I think another thing I want to do is I want to help children that are in special education. That's where I came from, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's people in
that's with the short bus.
Yeah, that's
short bus.
That's where I came.
So we can talk a little bit about that.
Tell people about the short bus.
So I guess the interesting thing about the short bus is when we started getting these books created and we started doing all these things, people started contacting me and say, can you do this program at West, and can you do it in Edmonton? And this lady, Kim Burgess, which is
I love her. She's
really
awesome.
Cool lady. She's like, we were going to rent a limo. We're going to take you around, and we're going to have, you know, this chef come and cook dinner for everybody. And I'm like, I was being kind of a smart ass, and I said, well, if you do it in a short bus and if we eat barbecue and drink beer after, I'll do it. But I'm not going to. And she says, okay, that'll be fine. And I'm thinking to myself, I came from I came from a place where I don't have very good you know, reading skills or writing skills. I didn't fit in the box. I was in special ed my whole life. My friends were in wheelchairs, and my friends were handicapped, and I didn't realize this until I started digging really, really deep and realizing why I have compassion for people that are in these situations. And then I said, you know what? There's nobody that motivates people that are in special ed or that have learning disabilities.
There isn't that focus.
So I have an opportunity now with the books and some of the publicity and stuff that I can actually harness this and be the role model. I want to change the face of special education, and I think it's, people say you're gifted, you're put in this class, but if you don't comply to what we're saying, you have to go in this class, which is special ed.
You're not gifted.
And I think it's the total opposite, because, you know, most geniuses don't follow the rules. They create their own, right?
Yeah, so, time and time again.
So back to your original question, I purchased a short bus, and we're renovating it right now. We're putting in, like,
I saw some pictures of it.
It's looking good.
That's hilarious.
It's getting there.
So you just got the bare bones of an old bus, and then you're just rejigging it?
Yeah, we shaved all the lights off the outside. We have LED lights. The inside's going to be hardwood floors with benches, and we're going to have...
And it runs. Awesome. And it runs. Like, it's like an actual bus.
We're planning a cross-Canada trip in it.
That's awesome.
To promote the book, because...
okay, so that's what you're talking about when you want to have... Yeah, some footage of that.
So we're going to be going to special ed classes and talking about thinking bigger than they think now, and thinking about different types of role models, not just maybe rap stars and things like this. Because that most people think about buying BMWs and getting oversized clothes and sideways hats. That's the role model. I'm not
Hookers
really
and blow is what they're selling, right?
I'm not really sure that's a good role model.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to show them a different way, and then. We're going to go and promote the book, and we're going to go to Home Depot and do book signings, and we're going to go from here to Vancouver.
Wow. Awesome. Let's talk about the books. And we didn't even mention it. So it was 4 years ago you said you had the idea and you got it all started. Yeah. So now it's finally officially released.
This is it.
From Renos to Riches.
From Renos to Riches.
So if you want to buy it,
tell us a little bit about
go to Amazon. You get yourself a deal. Well, to be honest with you, it scares the hell out of me. A guy that can't read very good and can't write very good to have
write a book.
Like, I almost had fainted when I seen it when it got shipped to my house. But
that's awesome, man. Did you freaking cry? Like, did you have a celebration, or did you?
I've had moments, and I still have moments, to be honest with you, when people come up and say, "Oh, I got your book," and it's kind of like
surreal.
Throws me back a bit
because it's happened so fast.
Yeah,
there he is.
That's right. Back in the day, man. That was like 2 years ago.
Oh my god, look at your picture here.
Yeah,
that's 2 years ago.
That's 2 years
wow.
ago.
Dude, that is not you anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't even look like you.
It's been really difficult, crazy. But I'm fortunate.
You guys got to buy the book.
I'm fortunate to have a really good ghostwriter, and I don't consider him a ghostwriter. Most people that write books have ghostwriters, and they don't want to tell people they have ghostwriters.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Man.
I would never be able to write this book without Xander Robertson. He's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Xander.
Shout out to Xander.
So yeah, he gave me the confidence to do it, and the second book, he gave me the confidence to.
Oh my god, you're already on to your second book
now.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me about this. What's this one?
It's co-authored with Mark Loeffler.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's called Fix and Flip, and it'll be out in September.
Oh
excellent.
My god.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
2 books released in the same year?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and it was crazy because they offered me a third, and I said no. Right now, we got to kind of just chill out a bit. I got to go back to normal Ian and work on my fitness. And
yeah. Were you asked to write the book, or was it something that you thought about, like, you know, I'm teaching it so much, or people are asking me for advice, maybe I should just put it in a book, or?
Well, I think it came down to kind of 2 different worlds colliding. Like, I was a renovator for a long time, so I took all the skill from being a chef, the organization and the craziness of getting a lot of things going at once, and I applied it to the renovation business, and that's why it's successful, because it has a bit of both in there, and it's really structured. And then people were asking me tons of questions. Like, I belonged to Rain, so people at Rain would ask me, "Oh, what about this renovation? What about that renovation?" It's like, well, it's so hard to explain it without seeing it or feeling it or touching it. So houses are living, breathing things. Not very many people understand that, but like when you go into a house, you get a feel of energy of it's going to be good, it's bad, something's going on here I don't like, and I just decided that I wanted to relay the message. I thought at first it would have been video, but
because you do a lot of videos.
I like doing videos. Yeah. I really enjoy doing videos. Because it doesn't scare me as much as writing, I guess. But I got a great guy in my corner that helps me, and it's awesome. People are getting a lot out of it, and I'm really excited about it. Excellent. But I don't want anyone to go out and buy it just because. If you see the book, great. But if you're interested in doing renos and fixing your house,
who's a perfect person to be reading this book? Is it just someone who's
what are they
going to buy and flip, or I don't have any money right now?
I have a history of flipping, and everyone kind of gets confused about that. The first one, From Renos to Riches, is a basic guide of practical and profitable renovations.
So it's giving you the mindset. It's giving you
the idea of, just because paint's $60 a gallon doesn't mean you need to pay it. Here's the other option. It's basically the blueprint of how I save money on flipping.
Yeah, because the manuscript, just the ideas. Because I've done an open house at one of your properties too. The one it was 2. It had the treehouse. Yeah, King Street. Yeah. And the way you explained it, there's wainscoting there. You have the freaking waffle ceilings. You got the rope lighting. I was just like, this is going to be a rental property? Are you freaking kidding me? Who the hell is wainscoting on a freaking rental property? But why would you do that?
Okay, so the reason why I do it, to eliminate the risk. The risk of not renting it quickly, not selling it quickly, refining at a great price. Yeah. So I'll give you 3 small examples. The first example is, if I'm selling it, right away you're getting a good quality tenant, that someone's going to pay higher than market rents. If I'm keeping it, then I know that I can refi it, or I can actually sell my appraiser and say, listen, by the way, here's 10 pages of work that's been done to this property. Here's my 5 different comps of houses that have sold in the area. He's the same guy that appraises every single property I have. So every 6 months, he's seeing a new property.
So my gosh. So he's already built that expectation and the relationship.
Exactly. And when he walks in and he sees that ceiling in the wainscoting, he's saying, I see this in $1 million houses. So
it's a show home. I
have room to kind of negotiate my, I'll give you an example. We bought a grow up, and we paid $220 for it, and 4 months later it appraised at $420.
Wow! And how much went into it?
About $100,000.
220, 320. So wow.
100K.
Now this is a home run, right? Like, everyone hears these stories
huge.
And like, oh, you must be doing great, and I want to make $100,000 too. The majority of my flips, I'm making anywhere from 50 to 100.
50 to 100.
Yeah.
So 50 minimum.
50 pretty much.
Is that what you're like? That's after everyone's been paid.
That's after, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So basically, this gives you the blueprint of the kind of a system that I use in the building relationships, finding your team. It's good for someone that's buying a new house. It's good for someone that wants to renovate their house. And what I really love about this book that really stands out for me is there's a lot of people that are in the media that promote renovations, and they have big TV shows and like Homes on Homes and things of this nature. But people don't understand is these people are getting paid by suppliers to sell this stuff.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
so, and they're not like finding tactics to save money, and, increase your profit, or anything like that. They're already sponsored, right? I mean,
that's right. If people really recognize. And they look at it, the first show or renovation show, the first season of a renovation show, they're using minimum code. The second season, the suppliers know that these individuals are going to be making money. So then the big suppliers come out with the expensive underlays and right? We're in a recession, pretty much. People are here to make money, right? I don't want to buy a subfloor that costs me more than the floor itself.
Yeah. So this is about building it to minimum code, making sure that you're putting good quality materials and work into it, but obviously you want to get that
increasing your profit.
Yeah, like we're talking about using basic tiles, but the pattern of the tiles that are laid and then adding a border is what's going to increase the value. Adding $1.99 a square linear foot, crown molding, how that boosts up.
And you talk about lighting as well.
Lighting is a massive thing that people can't understand, and zones of lighting is a huge thing. As a realtor, I'm sure you're aware of how much. It's emotion. I'm selling to a middle-aged woman. Yeah. That's who I'm selling to. I don't care about the guys. I know who my market is. About them. I know what they want.
If they're with guys, the lady has to be sold first anyways.
That's true. So basically what I did is I kind of just took all the cool things that I learned. I used to work for HGTV and the W Network, so I took all the cool design features that are really cheap, and I kind of manipulated them into a bigger picture.
Fantastic.
That's amazing. Yeah. Awesome. One thing that I really liked when I was reading the manuscript, and I haven't read the final copy yet, was the fact that the notes and the highlights that I was making, it was very much like, it was 80-20. The whole book is 80-20. It's like, here's a real 20% that actually works and makes you the most money in the renovation business. And then the whole book is about that.
Sweet.
That's freaking amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really good feedback.
Huge.
That's good to know. So how does this book compare to the next one?
Okay, so this one is basically an introduction of how to do renos and a good structure. Fix and Flip is a solid book. I'm really excited about it because it's basically what I do on a day-to-day basis. So in order to get to Fix and Flip, I would recommend, if someone's interested in this, to read this one first.
So this is kind of a base. This is
and then Mark
prerequisite.
Exactly, and then Mark Loeffler's in there, and he's adding a ton of structure on finding deals and structuring deals and financing.
Okay, so this is going to be like the blueprint, the foundation. The other book's going to be like the actual how-to.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to go from nothing to
just right away just finding deals.
Yeah, it's there's a big transition there.
Awesome.
Interesting.
Excellent.
So because you know what, a lot of people just love the idea of, it's like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house and flip it, and I'm gonna fix this up, and let's get a house that has some work on it, and a lot of people don't really get what they're getting themselves into. They don't understand what the work is like, and
it's crazy,
and where the value is. They might freaking spend money on lights that are just not gonna add value, or maybe, like you said, with the faucets. Right, the kitchen and as well as in the shower. Yeah. If you have the handheld, freaking, that's a score.
That's
with the middle-aged ladies.
That's right. That's right.
Did I just say score with the middle-aged ladies?
I'm not scoring with anybody.
Sorry,
except my wife. That's the only one. So I think there's a big gap in the market where people. I get groceries and what do you do? I buy and sell houses. Oh, I want to do that. Everybody wants to do it.
Yeah,
but
it's because you make it look easy too.
It's because that's what you see on TV.
Yeah,
it's a half-hour show. They flip a house. They make
$100,000.
It's a half-hour show. Okay, really,
it's crazy. And when I was started out doing it, there's really no school. Like I've been doing it for 9 years now. There was no school. Like my school was, let's hope this works. I know how to renovate, and if it doesn't work, I'm sleeping on insulation. And we've done that for weeks.
Oh my god!
Right? And there's nothing more demoralizing to go home to your wife after you've worked 80-hour weeks for 3 months and say, by the way, we owe $10,000. So
oh my god!
So that's
you started with a lot of mistakes then.
Oh yeah, I've fallen down. I still make mistakes, right? I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes.
Just less of them.
Yeah, more calculated mistakes.
More calculated mistakes.
So I think when I started out doing it, I remember there was one moment and I said, if I ever get through this, I'm gonna start something where I can actually teach it the real way, not up on a stage preaching to people saying, you're going to follow me and do this.
Sitting in a room and all that.
It's
because renovations is totally a hands-on business.
Like you said, it's living, it's breathing. You got to actually be in there and live and breathe with it.
Feet on the ground. You got to be.
The really interesting part. I just launched Flip School in February, and I only take 5 people, so I had 5 people involved, and I said, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how in depth it's going to get. But you know what? It needs to be open. You guys need to be here once a week when we're renovating. And the guys chipped in and they showed up. And here's guys, a friend of yours, excuse me, Carlo. He's a realtor, and he's showing up, sanding floors and cutting trim.
I saw the video of that. Yeah,
saw the video too. It's
awesome.
Cool.
That's the only way you're going to learn. Everyone wants to flip houses. Oh, you really want to flip houses? Well, there's a toilet full of pee, and someone needs to take that out.
Yeah.
And I've done it for years. It's your turn now.
Yeah.
Man.
That's the real life. And the beautiful part about it is they get to screw up stuff on my house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's not their investment. It's not them. Oh,
it's not costing them $1. You get to screw up all the floor. You might get yelled at by me for a bit, but no, I don't. But you know what I mean? It's an opportunity where they can actually
make
build.
those mistakes.
Yeah. How are you going to renovate and fix a house if you've never put in a floor before, if you've never painted, or you don't know how to talk to a contractor? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's trying to be a mortgage broker without any education, or a realtor without any education. It's insane.
So this is the real life practice without having to go out and find your own deal and set it all up and put your money into it. It's like, no, you're in there purely to learn, because the number one way to learn is by doing, right?
Well, I think the absolute best way I can describe it is it's in the street. Like, we jump in a car,
Pure street cred,
and
right
we go to 4 houses, and I just ramble. Okay, you see this? You see this? You see this? This is what you need to be looking for. And they get more out of that because I'm spending time.
Okay.
Right? Like, I could stand in a classroom and I could probably be a lot more profitable, and I could probably do a lot less work.
Yeah, you can get more people in the room.
I get a lot more people
in the room,
and I could say, today we're going to do a class on renovating, and I can stand up there and show you pictures all day long. And when you don't perform properly, I can critique you and say, well, you didn't listen, or you didn't follow me. The other way, I can find out who you are as a person. I can find out who you are as a person, and I can take you into a situation. I can find out what your weaknesses are, and then I can work with you to make sure that you understand this business. My goal isn't to turn you into a house flipper.
Mm-hmm.
My goal isn't to do that. My goal is to show you this is what the business is. This is what it can provide for you. Pick and choose from the menu what you want and create your own business. If you decide in 6 months this is not the business for you, I'm happy for you, because I could have saved your marriage. I could have saved you $60,000,
60, 80, 100,000.
Do you know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming at it.
So you're showing the possibility. You're saying, here's a potential path for you. Huge, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
And there's no one doing it like that.
Well, I get in trouble sometimes because I only take 4 or 5 students. And in order for me to be with 4 or 5 students, they have to come to my flips. They're going to meet my father-in-law. They're going to meet my mother-in-law. They're going to meet my dad. They're going to meet my wife and my daughter.
They're fully integrated.
They're fully in there, right? And
they're in your world.
They're in my world. I can't hide behind a stage or a curtain. I can't hide. You see who I am. If I'm having a bad day, you're going to see that. If the shit hits the fan on the job and there's problems, people are going to see that. So I interviewed 20 people for Flip School, and I picked 2.
Oh, the next Flip School.
Yeah, I picked 2, and I'm like, you know what?
20.
Because I need to protect who I am.
Yeah.
Right, and as vulnerable as that is, I don't want to associate with people that are going to consume me and suck my energy out of me. I'm here to help you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You want it to multiply. You want it to expand.
Yeah. So it's probably not good for financial reasons. It's probably not good for the mainstream people say, well, you take 25 people and make 80 grand.
Yeah.
I'd rather make 5 grand.
Yeah.
And teach somebody and make sure that they know what's going on.
Really impact them and really make a difference in their life. That's sick, man.
It's fun.
I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool.
So a lot different than being on stage, eh?
I still enjoy doing the on stage stuff, but I think people are smart. You know, there's a lot of people that go on stage and drop names, and Tony Robbins and all these people. You know what? It's not the 80s anymore. Okay,
yeah.
People, we have the internet.
It's so true.
We have the internet. Okay, people don't really care that if you stand beside Tony Robbins and you paid him 10 grand to come up on stage and talk to him. I really don't care about that. That's not going to change.
Or if you say, hey, Tony, take a picture with me, and you're like, he's my best
everybody
buddy
has
just because you have a picture.
Like, it's not the 80s anymore. You know what I mean? People want to do business with real people that. that are in the streets doing things, not the people that are saying, come and sign up to my seminar because I'm a real estate guru and I make $20 million a year not doing real estate, so I can go out and buy real estate. I think it's a false pretense, and I think it's fake. I don't think it's...
Okay, let's get into that topic. But if you're just tuning in, you're watching Meridius Radio Live, and we're here with Ian Szabo, author of Reno's to Riches, and we're just about to talk about the whole seminar world. So yeah, I guess continue.
Yeah, so I think the seminar world is an interesting place. And I've belonged to organizations before that I learned a lot from. And I learned a lot of value, good techniques. I learned some self-confidence. I learned how to present myself well on stage. And I met a lot of great friends like you guys. But it comes to a point where you got to decipher who you are as a person, what you want to do, and what's reality. And
what's reality?
I came to a point where I joined other organizations, which I learned a lot. Actually, one of them that I was a member of, Reno, and I commend them because I've learned a lot of material from them. But when I joined particular organizations, I was flipping houses. I've been flipping houses for 9 years. And although Reno is very good for learning how to buy 1 or 2 or 3 properties, I already had properties. So for me, it was more of a place where I met people and networked, and I worked on my self-confidence, and I learned a lot of valuable stuff about buying holes and taking care of tenants. But I flip houses. And when I started Flip School, I thought it was a conflict of interest to belong to these organizations because I could basically fish in their pond. I could take out potential people that were in their organization, and I could use them in my business. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'd rather fail by myself. I don't want to have a crutch, and if I'm not nice to the crutch, then I don't get business. So I decided that I'm just going to go on my own like I normally do, and if I fall on my face, I fall on my face, and I can't.
And you're fully accountable to yourself.
Yeah, and it's a kind of an organic business. I don't know how it's going to grow. I really don't have an ideal client. I just
person by person.
Yeah,
but that's the exciting part.
Reader after reader, right?
That's the exciting part.
I just love taking somebody has very limited renovation skill and saying, okay, we're going to put in some hardwood floors, and you're going to sand them, and you're going to put up crown molding, and you're going to put in rope lights. And they're scared. Like, they're like, oh, well, I don't never use a saw. Well, okay, well, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Chop my finger off.
I'm going to show you how to not cut off your fingers first.
It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding to see them after, and you have a beer and you're chatting.
Yeah.
And I think the new age world of renovations and the new age world of real estate investing is hands-on. People want to be people, and you need to spend time with them. And like any good friend or mentor or coach, you need to know the person. Each one of my students are different, and they're motivated by different aspects.
Things,
Right, yeah.
And they're scared of different things. But unless I get to know you, I can't know you standing on a stage in front of 500 people. I can collect your money and shake your hand and say, I hope you're doing well.
You can talk at them and stuff, right?
I could talk at you and say, if you don't listen to what I'm saying and do what I do, you're an idiot, basically. If you can't follow what I'm doing, there's something wrong with you. It's not me.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you, right?
Because you're not listening. You're not following.
Yeah. It's good. It's good for some people, but in the real world...
It's a new kind of literacy, I think. I mean, you're almost teaching people how to read. Someone's never picked up a saw before or installed hardwood before, and all of a sudden, at the end of the day, like, they're doing a half room or a whole room. Like, that's a huge sense of accomplishment. I mean, I just learned how to do hardwood. Was it a year and a half ago? Like, and I'm just like, this is awesome. Like, boom, boom. Like, and I just got faster and faster and better and better. It's freaking fun, man.
There's a thing that I've been researching lately, just thinking about, and it's 200 years ago, people used to create things with their hands. Used to make bread and used to grow vegetables, and I used to be the blacksmith. And then that was it. We all worked together, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe I didn't like you one day, you didn't like me the next day, whatever. I had to be nice to you because we need to get stuff from each other. Now people do things on computers or the ideal job is you go into the office and you type away on the computer. There's something missing. Right, and there's something really rewarding building something.
Connection and building.
There's something rewarding when you can say, my next Flip School, we're building a house, an 800 square feet house. It's a small house, but we're renting the machine. The Flip School students are going to learn how to dig it out. We're doing a foundation. They're doing block work. They're doing framing. We're doing electrical.
And there really is something about creating. Like, when you create something and you see the finished product, it's freaking rewarding, man.
There's nothing more rewarding. Like, I went from being a chef creating food. Yeah. So I would make you something really nice, and you would eat it, but the next morning it would be gone.
Yeah.
Right? If I make you a house,
the feeling is there and it's gone.
Right? But if I make you a house with some crazy design features like a crazy ceiling and wainscoting and hardwood floors, and you raise your family there, when I'm 80, I can go back and say, in my wheelchair, when I'm 80, I can go back and say...
Hopefully not in a wheelchair, doing triathlons, hopefully, at 80.
Actually, I am in the process of buying a wheelchair.
You are?
I am, yeah.
For what?
Because for the Short Bus Foundation...
Oh, yeah, you're going to...
I want to be able to run
4K
it
with them,
with a wheelchair, yeah.
Wow.
I'm training to do that.
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
No weight vest on this one. Though.
Yeah.
It's hard enough.
You're gonna have some huge pipes after that.
No, I'm gonna
be pushing.
I'm gonna be in the chair.
You're gonna be in the chair.
I'm gonna be in the chair. I'm gonna work the chair. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna try to work the chair. I'm gonna get worked, bro.
That's gonna be.
You're gonna have big arms, man.
Well,
yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And there's also something with when you're in a neighborhood and like everything's not taken care of, or it's an older neighborhood, and you're the person who goes in there and fixes it. You're increasing the value of that neighborhood. You're building something that someone's going to be really proud of. It's just something that's really such a positive impact on society.
It was crazy at some point because we used to have advertising on all of our trucks where we would buy houses and we have cartoons of me and this dog.
I remember that.
I remember those.
And we had to get rid of it because it got so overwhelming with people coming there and taking pictures of the van and then trying to come in the house.
Really?
It's like a big thing. Like, it's not because I have a book.
Hype.
It's just people like... if someone was doing that across the street, you'd be wondering, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
It's to the point where people like wait till I leave and then they'll walk through the house, and it's unbelievable. It is. It's a big thing. It drives me nuts, to be honest with you. It's like, if someone gets hurt here, what am I going to do? But
yeah, exactly.
But it is something rewarding about it. I used to be kind of modest about it. And now my neighbors say, oh, you made lots of noise. We were renovating. You made lots of noise yesterday. I said, don't worry, man. I just made you 10 grand when this place sells. Okay?
It's so true.
But they don't see that. They just see, oh, you're loud and there's trucks in the street. Guess what? I just made you 10 grand. You're welcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man.
That's funny. That's a good point, though.
But it's a hard thing because some people think as house flippers that you're taking advantage, or the typical thing, we were going to buy that house.
Taking advantage of the seller or taking advantage of what? Of the buyer?
Well, a bit of both. Sometimes the industry has a bad approach of cutting corners, and we get permits, we do things legitimately. But there's people that do this business and they come in the middle of the night,
just shoddy jobs,
and they just go to it and
yeah.
But I think it's important to be
just do patch jobs.
Yeah, it's important to build a good product. Like, and I actually built it too good of a product. To be honest with you, I could actually scale back a lot and
increase your margin.
Increase my profit, but a part of me, my model.
That's part of your brand, though.
Yeah, my model is, if I can't move in there with my wife and my daughter, then I don't do it.
Really?
That's it. And you know what? I could probably make an extra 5 or 10 grand on every flip, but you know what? I'm not interested in that. I need to set myself to a certain standard, even if it is potentially some people think overkill.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you've built a name for yourself, right? By doing that little extra.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like that 600 square foot place in Whitby that you helped sell.
Yeah.
That place rents for $1,100 in Whitby.
Which unit? The one on the left?
On the small one.
Oh my god!
Right. So you can imagine, like, as times increase, and I'm working on.
And the pictures are stellar.
I took the pictures. Yeah.
Those you? Yeah. You took those?
Yeah, I took those.
Those look pro.
I sit there and I have 2 beers and I wait until the night.
The perfect light.
So you're an artist in all aspects.
It's a little crazy, and it was funny because
dude, you are an artist, man.
I try to be.
Yeah,
I try to be. Yeah.
Well, you're a creator.
Culinary arts,
writer. Yeah,
real estate,
so many things.
Pictures. Well, how did you go from being a chef to being a renovator?
Yeah.
Like where did that's a different transition.
Okay, so I get this a lot, but it actually molds really well together. My last job was in charge of a $10 million food and beverage operation, which was the Granite Club. And I was executive sous chef. There was a chef above me, but I was in charge of all the day-to-day stuff. And we had, 160 staff, basically, right? So I was 26. I was running this company, and they went through a big renovation. They spent their $20 million on a renovation. So we're working in like a room, 2 rooms this big, which we were used to working in like a 10,000 square foot kitchen.
Wow.
And it was ridiculous. And then what they ended up doing was they fired my boss. So he was the executive chef, so they fired him.
You became...
No, I didn't become that. And then they got rid of a bunch of sous chefs. So as a chef, you have a bunch of sous chefs.
Yeah.
And they got rid of most of them. So they brought a new guy in. He was a nice guy. He was a French
new
guy.
executive chef.
New executive chef, and he came in with his team, and he was older, so he had his sous chefs were like 40 and 50 years old, and he came in, and the first comment he made to me was, he goes, "You're too young, you make too much money, and you're in over your head." What? So my first comment to him was, "Write a check." Right, Chef, buddy? I've been here 5 years. I've been busting my balls here. I've been working 15-hour days. I've been sleeping here. Write me a check. So what ended up happening was, when I was working there, at that time I was 26. I just got married. So I've been with my wife since I was 16.
My age, man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I got married. We bought a house. And from 16 to 26, I never had weekends off. I never had Christmases off. I had work all evenings. So I basically killed my social life when I was younger all the way through. And then when this happened, although I was getting paid really good money, I said, I don't need this. So he kind of took me under his wing, and he was helping me and showing me things. And then they took away all of my responsibility. So here's a guy that I did everything. So they got what they wanted from me, I believe, and they wanted me pretty well gone. Right?
Wow.
So basically, at the end of 6 months, I was there. I just got married. He basically said, well, there's no executive sous chef position here. So basically I was fired, but I wasn't fired. I was being dragged through the crap because they didn't want to pay me. But eventually we came to a compromise, and they wrote a check. And then I sat at home for 3 months, and I was like, I've never been off.
After 10 years of
not
nonstop work.
having weekends, not having Christmas. And then I started painting. My father owns a painting company. So I started taking all the crazy organizational stuff that I had as a chef and applying it to the painting business.
What was that called again? What was the painting business called? I know you had
it was called PLP Contracting.
Oh yeah, PLP, that's right.
So the name of PLP Contracting came when we were painting, and we were doing these bad jobs. And I remember I was sitting in a car. And 2 months before that, I was a chef, and I'd have like 6 people say, "Chef, what would you like for lunch?" You would like steak, lobster, would you like champagne, beer, whatever you want, right? And then I'm in a car with oil paint on my hands. I'm making like $15 an hour, right? Wow. And I'm eating a sandwich, and I could smell Varsol. And I said, I got to do something. This is ridiculous. So I created a company. I said, we're not even at the poverty line. So I created a company called Poverty Line Painters.
Oh, that's what PLP is?
That's awesome.
So that's
awesome.
Oh my god.
So that's it. So then you started a painting company, and then I
started painting, and then I started doing crown molding, and then I got hired by HGTV.
Okay, so that's where this begins.
Okay.
So then I started doing like on-air stuff. So they'd film me, and I would talk on camera, and I would do renovations, and we did like
how many seasons was that? Like how many episodes? Because your mom knows him. She's like, oh, Ian, it's like, I know him. I've seen him on TV. Yeah.
Wow. It's probably 40 or 50. We did like a couple shows were exclusive, so we did like 26 houses every summer.
Wow.
Oh my
Very
god.
Cool. Yeah. And so were you
the general contractor for them?
Okay, so you're doing general contract work on those. Okay.
Yeah.
Renovation.
Renovation.
Crazy.
So it's like basically organizing, project managing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how you fell into. Well,
That's
not really fell into.
So then
it.
I got
you gradually kind of.
Yeah, because on TV it's fast paced. It's like the kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. And they can't find people to get it done that quickly.
Yeah.
But then I started analyzing it and saying, my business at that time was customers, and if you're getting a free kitchen from a TV show, there's really not a lot of organization that makes sure that you get exactly what you want. Right? It's good for the camera. You're getting a $10,000 kitchen. Keep quiet and be happy you got a $10,000 kitchen. But I'm the guy that looks back. Oh, can you fix this? Can you fix that? And well, I'm not really getting paid to fix this. Behind the scenes, they're asking you. Customer wise, it wasn't a good from afar, but far from good.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot on some of those renovation shows.
Yeah.
Crew leaves and there's problems. And
there's problems and you know what? I appreciate it because I learned a lot of organizational skills. I learned a lot of good design stuff because I'm working with really good designers. But it just wasn't in me. And then after I did my own renos, I worked for a house and home for a while, so I did a lot of bathroom renovations and things of that nature. And then I just decided every year I was going to do a flip. So I did a flip every year. And then I said, you know what? Customers are actually holding me back. And I decided
you should be your own customer.
2 years ago, I fired like basically all my customers. I said, they call. I was like shaking at the time, like I can't do it. Even though I want to take your money.
That would be crazy to say no to money.
I've been saying no to money a lot lately, and I don't know why, but it seems to be working out all right.
Yeah, feels good though, eh? Yeah.
That's a big lesson to learn as you
with regards to money. So this is my question because before we were on the show, you're talking about joint venture partners. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on joint venture partners? Because I know a lot of people might not have the money to do flips, and they need to partner up with somebody. How did you get started?
I got it started with somebody I did a renovation for, and it was a really bad move. They had money and I had the skill, and they basically dictated to me what was going to happen, and I didn't have the confidence at the time to kind of push back. So I was put in a position where I didn't really perform to my best abilities, and the house that we picked was garbage, and it was brutal, and there was a lot of problems. Even though I addressed the problems, it didn't matter, and we lost a ton of money. But I think starting out, if you're going to flip houses, everybody wants to be in the real estate game, but they want to do as little as possible. And this is a full-time business. Everyone makes it seem easy and fun. This is a full-time business, and in my opinion, depending on where you want to go, I enjoy flipping because I can make $100,000 or $50,000 in 4 months compared to a guy going out. And for example, Oliver, if you went and bought a house for market value and you waited 5 years and you had headaches of tenants and fixing things, you might make 50 grand, but then you're going to have to split it with somebody else. So JVing doesn't make sense to me because I'm making a huge amount of value and profit in a short amount of time. So what I do is I borrow funds like any other developer. I'm basically a developer. I'm a glorified developer, right? Like Flip School is a catchy name and all that, but I'm basically a glorified developer. So what I do is I borrow funds from you and I pay you 10% interest. So nice. For example, the reason why JVs don't work for me is because I'm creative. And I'll change my mind if I know I'm going to make more money, or if it's going to be more profitable, it's going to be better for my team. I will change. And if you let me money as a JV, I have to come to you again and say, by the way, we're going to spend another $2,000 in the bathroom because I think it's going to add value. I do this on the fly because I go with my gut and my instinct, and I don't want to answer to anybody. But if I borrow $200,000 from you at 10%, you're like, take 2 years.
We don't care. They want their 10%.
You know what I mean? And they don't have ownership because what happens when flipping, everybody's wife and girlfriend and mother-in-law and aunt and uncle, they want to come and tell you, well, in my house, this is the wallpaper I used, and this is, well, we don't care about your house because
you should use this color and you should put this there.
And that's how I kind of eliminated that too. This is my system I use. So to be honest with you, JVing, I could probably be a lot more successful in what I do. I could have probably hundreds of houses if I wanted to, but I don't want to be involved in that situation. I don't want to exchange money for freedom or creative ability. I don't want to change that.
It comes at a cost, eh?
It comes at a cost. No, I'm very successful at what I do and I'm very happy at what I do, but to the same extent, I got to check my morals, man. So
is this almost like a warning to people who are listening?
Well, it depends why you're getting into business, right? And
most people are just in it for the money.
Yeah,
which is the wrong reason.
I'm not in it for anything. I'm not in it for the first reason why I'm in it because I love the fact of taking something old, decrepit, and I love rebuilding it and have people argue on buying it. I love that.
That's huge.
The second thing that really motivates me, that could be number one because I've only started, is Flip School. There's nothing better than taking somebody and helping them and inspiring them to do things. Like after 3 months of Flip School, I have 2 students that are buying their own flips. They're like begging me, let's go buy a flip. And
go find one.
For me to be able to look at them and say, I've given you that much confidence to be able to go out and buy a property, it makes me realize how much value is actually in that.
So you're looking for there's a lot of fulfillment that you seek in what you do. And if it's not fulfilling, you don't do it. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I've never heard it said back that way, and it makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense that way.
Well,
you say no to a lot of stuff that's just going to cause too much chaos.
Well, in the last year, I probably said no to 3 TV shows.
Wow.
Yeah, I know because I've done it and I have the reputation.
Offers.
I don't want to be controlled that way because the TV show it's not real. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
you're talking about what is reality, right?
That's not real. You know what I mean? Do I want to be a model? No, I don't want to be a model. Do I want to be an actor? No, I want to sell stuff that's real. If I can't tell you honestly and look you in your eyes that it's real, then what's the point of living? In my opinion, what's the point of living? Right? I lived a fake life before. When I was a fat guy, I was living a fake life because that's not who I wanted to be. And I don't want to go back there. I fight very hard not to go back there. I have my days that are down and miserable and depressing and stressful like everybody. But you know what?
It's part of it.
I need to be able to find a way to fight out of that, and by helping people, by inspiring people, by buying really crappy houses and selling it to a beautiful family, there's nothing more really rewarding for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Would you do a show on your terms?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm fighting for.
You should talk to Michelle.
You should get something started like that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. She's doing web series or web production. So if you could do a show on your terms.
Yeah, I think
be on network,
I would rather do, like, that's why I started doing videos for myself.
For Flipschool, yeah.
Because it's like, here's the reality. You know, we're putting in hardwood floors. This is, and something didn't work. And I got pissed.
I love when you're yelling at the camera, man.
I got pissed, right? And I'm like, everyone's asking Flipschool, right? So everyone's asking me questions like, what about this? And what are you going to do? I said, listen, everyone, please do me a favor. Go get a coffee, okay? Come back in a half an hour because I can't answer your questions. Okay? Well, that's real, right? I feel bad. I feel bad. I'm going to lose my shit right now. This is not working. You know, I don't have the answers to everything. I need 15 minutes to think about this.
Yeah.
And they left, and they came back, and you know what they said? That was the best part of the day, man. Because the way, normally, I would have drawn it out. And let it ride out longer.
Like the anger?
No, like instead of dealing with the problem, I would just, it's going to work itself out and just keep going.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's tomorrow's problem. And then you have like 5 or 6 problems like that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed that's unique about your book is that you say when everyone's like drained and, you know, you're not really getting anywhere, you say, okay, that's it. We're wrapping it up. Let's clean the place like we're, you know, ready to leave. And, you know, we're going to take the rest of the day, grab some beers, eat, and we'll start again brand new tomorrow. That's amazing. Like you offer the rest and rejuvenation. It's not like we have this timeline, blah blah blah. It's like, let's shut down. It's 12. Yeah. It's 12 p.m. You know, everyone feels like shit. Let's freaking just stop it.
But the beautiful part about it's called like rebooting or resetting. The beautiful part about that is you don't understand how far you come
until you take a step back.
You take a step back, and the guys don't want to stop because they just want to go.
They're
like,
the momentum,
no, here's a beer. Have 2 beers. You're not going to work after 2 beers. Have 2 beers. Right? We're going to go get some barbecue. You're not going to work after you have barbecue. But then after we regroup and have some time to breathe and relax and focus on what's really important. Like, you know, are you hanging out with your wife? Are you hanging out with your kids? You know what I mean? Are you eating properly? Are you exercising? It's the reason the secret to flipping houses, which people always want to ask, is that it's all relationship. Everything I do is a relationship. From the guy that drops off the garbage or drops off materials, to pick up the garbage, to the guy that's cutting the grass. It's all relationship. It has nothing to do with magic.
Right.
You know what I mean? My first primary goal is to be a good human being and to make sure that the conversation I have with you today, you feel better and I feel better than you did 15 minutes before.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Just creating a positive impact with everyone that you encounter with. Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, that's just an important life lesson. I mean, things aren't going well. You're not feeling well. It's stop, unplug.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Relax. Rejuvenate. Reset. Then you get back to it later, and you find, like you said, you get back to it later, and you'll be better off than actually just pushing through.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So if you're just tuning in, you're watching Meridius Radio. We're here with Ian Szabo, the founder of Flipschool.ca and recent author of Reno's to Riches and another book coming up in the fall.
Yeah, co-authored with Mark Loeffler. Yeah. It's called Fix and Flip.
Fix and Flip.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So what did I want to talk about? So what it sounds like, because we talk a lot about the holistic entrepreneur. And the holistic entrepreneur is someone who is seeking fulfillment and someone who wants to make a positive impact. And a lot of that mindset when it comes to a business person, like to be healthy and all that, it starts at the level of the self. And it sounds like you've done a lot of like personal development and work on yourself to find yourself, and you're living an authentic life.
Saying no to a bunch of things.
Yeah, you really seem like you really know yourself. I mean, did that start at a certain point? Was there someone, because I know you're with Philip McKernan.
Yeah, I've actually been with Philip McKernan for probably 5 or 6 years now, and every year I've done
Is it that long?
Yeah,
that's huge.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I was one of his first clients actually. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and what I like about him is for one, I respect him. For two, he's always evolving and he's changing. He has the respect and dignity if he does something wrong, to say, hey, that probably wasn't right, and I'm learning myself, and he shares his stories with us, and what I really like is his group. So there's a group of like 10 people we meet quarterly in Vancouver. It's called Everest, and we got to stand up there, and it's called the electric chair. And you got to stand up there for minimum 45, and if you dig yourself a hole, you're up there for 3 hours.
45 minutes?
And basically...
To 3 hours?
Yeah. Basically...
All on you.
All on you. And everyone has an opportunity. They're basically like a board of directors.
So it's like a mastermind.
Yeah. So you're held accountable to everybody that's in the group, and not just the group supportive. It's also nice to get away. Like you get away for 2 days, and no matter how stressful I am or how many books I'm trying to do or events or flips or every quarter I'm going there.
Yeah.
Right.
You're in Van City.
You're there, and it's a beautiful place, and you're learning and you're getting inspired, and the craziest thing is these people know your deepest, darkest secrets, stuff that you don't tell anybody. They know.
Wow.
They know, right? So the friendship
level, a new family, like it's
yeah, like the friendship that's in that group is like undescribable. Like the energy that I get, like I met Xander in there.
I was about to ask. I was just
Xander's dream was to write a book.
Oh wow!
And I got a book contract, and I didn't know what to do with it. I said, "Now you ready to write a book?" And he's like, "No, man, you're writing this book."
Like, what did you say you wanted to do all your life?
You're writing this book, bro. So now he's done this book. He's done Fix and Flip. He's doing. I don't even know if I should say this, but whatever. He's doing Philip's next book, and he's doing another guy's book, but I don't want to. Philip I can defend, but I can fight with him, but someone else I can't.
So I mean,
that's great.
That's a lot of work. So you have a coach and you have this accountability group. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a huge commitment to yourself.
It is a huge commitment.
Some people would see that as selfish.
Well, that's an awesome point. Now, and I'll tell you, just recently after losing all the weight, I told one of my good friends, I said, I used to think people in shape were vain. Right, look at me. I'm in shape. I'm a good-looking guy.
Okay.
I'm wearing a tank top, or you know what I mean. It's like this guy's all about himself.
Check out my pecs.
But it was like, but it was my mental block that it was. It's not vain. It was that I didn't think I deserved to look that way. Right, I didn't give myself enough respect or to take an hour out of the day. Like now, I'm working out an hour to 2 hours a day.
Wow.
Right, like and. It's good for me, but I would. It's a total shift. Like I spend less time at work than I ever have. Like when I do flips, I take usually a month or 2 months off, and I'm with my daughter, and that's where I get a lot of energy from. The space, the space is where I find the clarity to go out and run, and the clarity to volunteer and go speak at schools and. Life's too hectic, man. People are always on their phones and driving here and there and daycare and like.
So it's like the green light, red light thing. I mean, you're going and you stop. You go and you stop. So instead of go all the time.
Like my job is, I joke about it. It's like I'm like a firefighter, except I'm not saving anybody's life, right? When I'm saving a house. When I have a house to work on, I work hard. But I used to work 14, 15 hours. Now I get up at 6. I work from 6 to 4. And I'm home at 5.
Yeah.
I'm with my daughter. I give her a bath. I feed her. This is what I need. But like going back to your original question, it took so much energy to go back. Like I had to go back when I was a kid. Things that I did when I was a kid and when I was in the special ed and
like you mean you had to dig deep to your past, your childhood.
Places I didn't want to go, right? Oof. People had to help me, like Philip in the group. And everybody has this stuff. Right, and I know you guys.
Everyone has that.
You guys are like really cool because I see you're kind of working in the pictures before when I met you, and you were heavier, and then you're getting back into your music, and these are all little signs that you're working on yourself because you know what I mean. You're digging deeper than normal, and people think I'm nuts. Like the friends that I did have, I really don't have them anymore because they can't relate to me. Mm-hmm. And at first, I was scared about that, like. What am I going to do, and how am I going to find new friends?
Because they're part of who you were.
That's right. That's right. So it's. I have a belief that I'm here to do something very big and powerful, and I would never be able to admit that before until recently, and I don't know what it is, but it still scares the you know what out of me. Yeah. But I have to keep fighting, right? And it's a battle that I enjoy now. I used to hate it. It used to haunt me.
You used to be scared of it.
Yeah. I used to be scared to be in shape.
Scared of your own potential.
Yeah,
scared
absolutely.
of your own power.
Absolutely, yeah. And I used to do things that would sabotage it. I would drink too much beer and I eat too much food and I wouldn't sleep enough and I'd take on way too many jobs and that's just running.
Self-sabotage.
Running, right? I'm running away from who I know I am.
And who you could be.
And who I could be.
Yeah.
Right? And to be honest, the friends that I did have around this time, they don't want to support me. They don't want to see you
change.
And
they don't. You're changing, because that means they're being left behind.
Exactly.
A lot of times.
And not just that, they don't want to see you be really, really successful and make a ton of money. And not that money's the gauge, but
it separates people.
It separates them. It makes you look in the mirror at themselves and say, "Wow, this guy, this guy was a fat bastard 3 months ago. Now he's running with a weighted vest.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting this stuff on Facebook to impress people. I'm doing it because
you're happy.
It's also another step. You know what I mean? It's for me.
And it inspires people
if I put that out there, I know for a fact that I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
because you're telling everyone.
You're making,
I get
yourself
scared too, man. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm gonna run with a vest. You nuts? I never ran before, but
you know that when you were saying that you used to think fit people were really vain, it's almost like how some people look at people who are really wealthy and just say, "Oh, he must have did something really evil to become wealthy," or that guy's probably screwed thousands of people to be that rich.
Yeah,
Or where it's almost
they're looking at
so how are you ever going to
work out all day, right?
Yeah. How are you ever going to be healthy if you don't at least admire the fact that it's like, wow, this person must spend a lot of time working out and chooses the right foods to eat and things like that. But if you're automatically hating them, you're not going to turn into what you hate.
Yeah,
you're not going to want to be healthy if you label healthy as this person is vain and full of themselves. You know what I mean?
Well, it's really funny because people all think that this life is a team sport, right? Life's a team sport. I have Philip and the whole group, and there's 12 people there that support me. But I have another 10 or 15 people that support me too, right? And it's not just me in this.
Right.
We're all in it together.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't have wrote that book without Xander.
Yeah.
Xander probably would have had a hard time writing a book if he didn't have someone with a book contract.
Yeah.
Right? And then we got 2 on the back-to-back. But it's all like a living, breathing thing. And I'm so grateful that for one, I can see the people that I attract into my life now. I'm very selective of who I allow into my space. Before, I'd be like, "Oh, you need help? I'll be there to help you, man." And I was just giving, but I was giving to the wrong people.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing in life when you clear out room, what you actually can put back onto your plate, and you can be a lot more selective. Right? Clear it out. This is what I want to do.
I agree.
This is who I want to talk to. This is who I want to hang out with.
Yeah.
These are the things I want to do. I'm going to spend time here. I'm going to work on myself. I'm not just going to take on jobs here and here, right? 50,000 here, 50,000 there, just talking to you just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend time with my daughter. I'm going to take 2 hours a day to work out.
That's right.
I'm going to spend time with my wife. I'm only going to talk to Oliver. I'm only going to talk to Ian. I'm only going to talk to people I want to talk to.
That's right.
Life's too short. Why am I going to do all this shit?
That's right. Like a lot of the emails I get, I don't even respond. No, but like
I feel honored you respond to mine.
No, well, you're in with the group, my friend. Yeah. But it's like, it's important. It's important to be surrounded by great people, and that's why I'm so selective with Flip School. If it was on a stage, I wouldn't care. But that's not me, and I'm not here to make the money. So the interesting part is, I'm just looking for a strength coach. And I'm
cool.
I'm basically interviewing them. I'm gonna go work one day with one person, one day with the next, and one with another guy. Because I want to make sure it's the right person. Yeah. I have never taken the respect or the time to do that for myself before. Like, oh, you're a cool guy. I'm gonna come work. Can you show me everything you know? Yeah. No, if I don't like you or the strength training coach, I don't want to commit to you. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna test it out and see how it is.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Talk a little bit about because you're mentioning you're working out an hour to 2 a day. Yeah. So what is it that you're doing there in that hour or 2?
Recently, I signed up for this crazy event called Tough Mudder.
Tough Mudder, sweet.
As a celebration because I lost my weight.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if it's a good celebration.
That's more of an ass kicking.
Tough. That is a team. It has to be done as a team, right?
Yeah, we have 12 people on our team.
Sick.
Oh, cool.
So some of them are ex-pro athletes and stuff like this. So this is like NHL.
Talk about surrounding yourself with the right people.
It's not probably a smart idea to join up with these guys, but it's good motivation.
Tough Mudder is good because it has to be done as a team. Like you have to do it as you can't just have 2 guys take off and leave the rest behind. Like you have to start as a team and you got to finish as a team.
I'm really grateful to be part of the team.
That's awesome.
So basically, I run 3 days a week. So I run 2 days during the week with a weighted vest. I run 5K, and on the weekends I do anywhere from 10 to 14K.
Wow.
And now I'm starting strength training because I lost so much weight. I've lost a lot of I feel that I've lost a lot of strength. I've leaned out a lot, but I still need to put some
build
weight
muscle back on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Muscle back on.
Excellent. So you're going to like a gym?
Actually, it's the first guy that I picked to go. He has a house similar to this, and he has a garage, and it's in his garage. So he has all the stuff, so it's one-on-one.
Awesome.
So
that's amazing. Strength and conditioning.
And to be honest, I need someone to push me, right?
Yeah.
It's not my...
So you have like so in a lot of different areas of your life, it looks like you have like a direct mentor, some like people you're accountable to keep you in line, keep you in check.
Yeah, like I guess I've become more comfortable with asking for help. And that was a big thing for me because I'm a proud guy. I didn't want to ask for help. I didn't really want to be vulnerable. Yeah. And now I'm totally flipped the opposite way. I'm ridiculously vulnerable, and I ask for the right help.
Yeah.
Not just because, hey, let's ask for help, but I ask. I know that
with reasoning behind it.
Now I know my running's up to par. I need to get back in the strength training, and I need somebody that can push me past my mental capacity for fitness.
Fantastic.
I'm not good at that, right? So.
Just check out while you're out east. Check out if you've never looked into it, CrossFit.
Okay.
Check out CrossFit gym. Because that would be very applicable to doing stuff like Tough Mudder or Warrior Dash.
I think Brian Prasad's doing CrossFit right now.
Yeah, that's right.
He put it on Facebook. Right. He's just like, I saw that. I did CrossFit today and I didn't puke. Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thrown up many times actually. Well, 3 times now.
Whoa!
From working out?
From working out or running or
yeah.
From running? Wow.
I went from 5K. We ran 5K for 2 months, and then 3 weeks ago we decided we were going to run 8K. But we did 8K in the trails, like up hills, cliffs, through water.
Sweet.
And my friend's like, enough throwing up, let's go. I was like,
oh my god!
But it's more for me. It's more mental. It's the strength of my brain. You know what I mean?
Really?
And it's even the running. It didn't start out as a physical thing. For me, it was more of I have a lot of stuff going on, and I could default back to the old Ian. So I started running, and it starts putting everything back in perspective of who I am.
It's very meditative, eh? When
it
you
is
run.
very meditative.
Do you listen to music, or do you?
I do. Yeah, I listen to music. Actually, I've been listening to reggae now when I run.
Oh, yeah? Really? Yeah, because it has a really good pace, right? When you're running,
and it's not as I used to listen to like Linkin Park and Kid Rock, and then I just
more for working out. Yeah,
I'll just be like running, and I need to chill out, man, and listen to some Bob Marley, and just
especially when you get into like 5K, 8K, 10Ks, you want something that's
a nice tempo, nice rhythm for the running. Yeah, that's hilarious.
You ever thought we'd get into talking about running on this show?
We could talk about
whatever, man. Right. Talk about whatever. Something you might try to add is because something that I've been doing, adding to my runs, that's really helped sort of the endurance and the conditioning is what they call Tabata sprints. So you sprint for 20 seconds, then you rest for 10 seconds, or like walk for 10 seconds, and you do that through 8 rounds. So I add that.
So short bursts.
So it's more just like intervals. So I've been adding that to the end of my runs.
Does that increase body fat, like burning body fat as well, or is that for endurance?
I don't really know. I think it probably would.
Yeah, probably.
Because it really gets your heart rate going.
Well, like the crazy thing is I get like boosts of energy. Like when I go into something, I go like even my friend, he's like, you're running too fast, you got to slow down. And then I get
pace
burst.
yourself. Yeah,
I get bursts, so I'd be like jogging, and then I just start to sprint and take off, right? But then I hurt my leg because my brain was telling me to do stupid things. They take off. You know what I mean?
My god!
I feel like
your brain is running faster than your body is.
Yeah. I think you're like 12 again or something, running in the forest, right?
Yeah. So are you always with somebody, or do you go by yourself? Or?
No, I go by myself. I run once with a buddy of mine on the weekends. Okay. Nice. But it's probably the missing piece. Like for years, I've been doing good, like in business and getting successful and
so it's missing pieces of health.
Yeah, it was missing. Like I had the spirit and the mind. Like I meditate and I do a lot of things like that. I eat properly, but recently. But the running. Well,
I see you're juicing a lot too.
The juicing is killer. I love it.
Awesome.
I love the juicer. It really helps.
What kind of juicer do you have?
Do you
Breville.
Breville. Okay.
Yeah,
do you do that first thing in the morning or?
Yeah, I do it after my run usually, or I'm just eating clean. Like I went back to like 200 years ago, 300 years ago. What are people eating? They're eating grains, they're eating nuts, they're eating fruits, they're eating fish once in a while, they're eating meat once in a while. But flour is a man-made product, right?
Yeah.
Let's think about how much things flour.
Body doesn't process that.
It turns into glue in your stomach, basically.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many.
And you've been on the chef side too, eh?
Yeah.
So it's like what's in there.
It's very interesting for me to see where I'm at now, like after, I think it has to do with the guidance and the mentoring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody
you would not be able to do that
no way,
alone,
right? Because people give up. right? I would have given up if I didn't trust Philip, or if I didn't trust my group, or if I didn't trust some of my other close friends. How are you going to succeed if you don't have that support? You need that support, some kind of support, whether it's friendship, whether it's business. You need somebody that's invested in your best interest, that's not financially connected to your result.
And you don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur. It's, if you're just trying to better yourself, if you're just trying to, just increase your level of, self-knowledge, or your confidence and whatever it is, I think having a coach or mentors or, mastermind groups is freaking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you really analyze and look at anybody that's really, really, truly successful, whatever your definition of success is, could be different, but it's usually, in my head, people look at pro athletes, the rappers, they
on to the rappers again.
No, but they look at these people, right? And they say, well, he has a lot of money, drives a Ferrari, or he's hanging out with some cool chicks, he must be successful, whatever it is, right? These people have teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't see the people behind.
You don't see it. You just see the guy walking out, Kanye West, but you don't see the 10 people behind him that make sure he dresses himself properly and he's out running in the morning.
Yeah,
and
his agent, his publicist.
He's not staying out all night partying. Like, people don't see that. They see me with a book, but they don't understand that behind me there's probably 20 people that make sure that I've told them this is what I'm going to do, this is how it's going to be, and if I don't, they kick my butt.
Yeah.
In their way, right?
And that's the reality. I mean, that's the reality. A lot of people just see the celebrity. They just see the fame. They don't see like all the work and all the people who are on your ass and making sure that you're on top of your game.
Yeah, like I have tons of people everywhere I go. Gas station. Oh, you flip houses? Yeah. You want to flip? I want to flip houses. Good. I got some dirty toilets to take out and some fridges that have been there full of food for you. When do you want to come and do it? Oh no, exactly.
Yeah.
Put in the time and you get the reward. If you don't.
Flipping houses, like, okay, you buy a house, you fix it, and you flip it. Yeah. No, it's freaking taking out piss.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. Like it's not a normal thing. It's not. It's people think it's mainstream, but it's totally the opposite of what people think. I love it.
And do you feel that the market impacts that business at all? Like if the market goes up, goes down, interest rates, does it, like where you're located? In the country, maybe you're in the States. Does it matter?
Yeah, it matters. It matters.
You think it matters?
Location is huge. It matters a lot. My exit strategies are really, really solid because I've failed a lot in the beginning. So like I know where places I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So I basically build second suites. So most people think a flip is you buying an old house and fixing it up.
They just became legal in Brampton, by the way.
And there you go.
Yeah.
See, man,
They're just starting. They're just starting to figure it out.
That's good. So. But back to your question, I'm usually buying a house that's kind of run down. I'm putting a second suite, which I'm adding a ton of value right away.
It does.
Right? I either sell it, I refinance it, or I keep it, and it makes me $800 to $1,000 a month. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, that's not a risk in a market where I know is exceedingly, and there's a lot of people coming.
So what happens to that investor who you borrowed from for 10%? You just refinance them right out. Okay.
I refinance them right out. I take out my profit, 10 grand or whatever it is, and I have my down payment already in the house. So I don't care, right?
You tie it all, yeah.
And the beautiful part about doing that is I'm not fixing old crap. So part of the main things of second suites is the tenants can hear each other. That's eliminated because I get a permit and I'm doing proper. The second thing is heating controls. I do heating and AC on separate controls. The third thing is maintenance as a landlord. I'm building all new. Yeah. So I got 10, 20 years before I have to start fixing major things. Yeah. So that's usually my first strategy would be for someone starting out on flipping. This is pretty well guaranteed way to do it. If you have some education, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's for me, it just makes sense. I'm buying in an area where there's 100,000 people. Whitby is 120,000 population. There's 100,000 people moving in the next 6 years. You're not allowed to build.
What? Yes. It's doubling in 6 years?
Doubling.
Holy, where the hell are they going to put them?
Exactly. You're not allowed. I'm at the office every week, the building office. You're not allowed to do multis there. You're not allowed to convert into triplexes and fourplexes. So the only thing they've allowed you to do is a duplex. So for me, I'm pumping out duplexes like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. So I'm going one step further.
You're delivering. Yeah, you're delivering the inventory.
I'm also doing one step beyond the average person because I'm looking at baby boomers, the biggest population growth in history.
Yeah.
So for example, I buy a single house, and in Whitby, where I live, you're allowed to build an addition, but it has to be attached to the other house. But part of the beauty of being attached, I'm just going to attach one foundation wall from one house to the other house, and I'm going to build another 800 square foot house. So for example,
That's considered
a second suite. But it has a separate furnace, it has separate AC.
That's that's great.
So the beautiful part is I can rent both of them out for $1,200-$1,300 a month each plus utilities.
So your cash flow just goes
through the roof. Right? So as the baby boomers get older,
and your equity position is already, holy crap, man.
As the baby boomers get older, there's none of these places. Who wants to live in the basement? Do you want your, you know what I mean? Mother and father, you want them to live in their own house, and you don't want to see them every day. So I would rather have their house back there. Do you know what I mean? They have their own house. Yeah. It's one level, right?
Yeah.
One level. So that's what I'm building. That's what I'm building. Yeah.
We don't have anything like that.
I can't build enough of them. I can't build enough of them.
Wow.
The average.
Is it hard to find new projects? Like, how long does it take? Like, how many houses do you look at before you say, okay, this is going to be a project?
It all depends. A lot of times I get some dropped on my lap. Sometimes it takes up to 6 months, but I'm taking time off in between. But typically, because of the population growth in Whitby, because I know there's a need, and because I get extremely high rents, I can pretty well do it anywhere in Whitby. I've bought market value off MLS and put a second suite, and I've made money.
Wow. So you'll buy. So, okay, that's another thing about some people think that they could only get these amazing deals, privately or off of, not on MLS. Is that true?
No, it's not true. And if you look at, this is the problem that the word flip has a problem with, and it's TV show related, and there's no education in it. But basically, I'm a developer. I find a need in a community that's going to be growing, and it's going to be having good families come there, people with good income. Then I find the problem, which is they have nowhere else for people to move to.
Yeah, no housing.
Right? So then I find the solution. The solution is building second suites that are above grade, higher than average rents, that are designed for working class people that either had a divorce and want a really cool, funky place to hang out in and not feel like they're living in a dumpy apartment because they've lived in a 3,000 square foot house before.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them an alternative. And then we just roll with it. But
Sick.
I do buy junky houses. I buy grow-ups, I buy hoarder houses, but it's safety-wise for someone starting out into this business.
Yeah. Start with something.
Yeah, because 25% of our population are retiring in the next 5 years.
That's crazy.
Where are they going to move?
Yeah.
10 million people in Canada. Where are they going to move? They're not going to buy a house like this because they're downsizing. They're moving out of the house.
It's like a condo or a bungalow or something, a single story.
That's right. So the second phase to the second suite thing for me is I'm buying bungalows and I'm gutting them. And I'm opening them up like condos. New kitchen, new granite, hardwood floors.
Taking all the walls down.
Everything's gone. The kitchen's being relocated. All the bedrooms are relocated.
Wow, that's
selling
sick.
now. So here's the difference. In Whitby, if you're buying a condo for 700 square feet, there's only 2 condos in Whitby. If you're buying a condo...
There's only 2 condo buildings?
That's right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
So they can buy one 700 square foot condo for $400,000, or they can buy a 2,000 square foot bungalow, upper and lower, so 1,000 each floor, with a 50 by 140 foot lot, completely gutted and renovated to the nines for $400,000, and I sell those. I build those and sell them.
Wow.
Jeez.
So
wow,
it hasn't been tested and proved yet. Like, this is a trial for me. This is something new that I've never done. But it's listed. We've got a ton of viewings, so I'm expecting it's going to probably work out decently.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
But if you look at it, analyzing it, I'm going after two. I'm not just going out there and finding stuff, right? There's 2 very structured environments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like an investigator. I'm investigating what works and what doesn't. I'm not just out there, that
You're a
looks
scientist.
cheap.
You're like, you're doing experiments.
Exactly. Yeah.
Calculated.
These are very calculated risks. So the cool thing for me is I'm setting the standard in my hometown. I'm setting the example. So for example,
so if someone wants to renovate in that area, watch out.
you know that place that you
freaking wainscot your houses.
You know that place that you sold?
Yeah.
That sold for $355. The market value for a duplex in Whitby before that one sold was the average value was $289.
Oh my god.
So I'm setting a false market standard, I believe.
A false market standard?
It's not false. It's just
inflated.
Yeah, well, the guy that has a crappy rental unit, he's benefiting. He's making $20,000 off my hard work too, probably.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a lot of fun.
That's like freaking printing money, is it not?
Sometimes
you're just creating the value. I mean,
but what people don't see is,
so much capital.
Is like the 9 years of doing it. No one sees the $300,000 that we lost, or the years we didn't make any money, or the days we didn't make any money. Like it's just the hard. Everybody wants instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
And even in Flip School, guys come there and they're like, I've had interviews. After 6 months, I'm going to be buying a place and making $100,000. I said, I don't know. Like, it depends what you're capable of doing. It depends what your brain can comprehend.
That's crazy.
It depends if you ask the right questions. Like, I can't tell you that I'm going to give you a recipe for success. You need to tell me you're willing to put in the effort.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people go to university to be scientists. And they may not come out and get a job, but I know for $6,500 after that, you're going to be able to even renovate your own house and make that 65 grand back.
Exactly.
Nice.
So.
Oh my God. So it takes you how many months usually to flip?
Usually anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months.
6 weeks even?
Yeah, like
even like a complete build.
The last one we did, so we have a bungalow that we gutted and redid. We did that in 8 weeks.
Oh
wow.
God.
8 weeks, yeah.
That's amazing.
We did a rebuild in the beaches last.
So that doesn't include, selling it and the closing time in between.
No, that's like finishing, listed.
Yeah, listed by 2 months, 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
So, with the new build that you were talking about, it takes about 4 months.
Okay.
3 to 4 months. But it's so cool because I'm looking at it saying, okay, 25% of the population is going to be retiring.
There's going to be a huge need.
There's going to be huge needs. We're going to have all these big houses that are empty. So a lot of people are going to be probably imported from different countries that can come in here and find houses to live. Because if I'm 65, I don't want a house this big because it's only me and my wife and a dog or cat, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I've been working with my architect to design buildings that are self-containing small units, 600-700 square feet with a loft that will accommodate this. And I'm going after this niche. Like, it's not just like a shotgun approach where I'm just shooting everywhere.
No.
I'm focused in on 2 niches. One is apartments, second suites, and the other one is baby boomers, which they kind of align together because they can work together.
Yeah.
The beautiful part about that is I can live in one unit, I can rent the other unit out to potential baby boomer, or I can rent it out to my mother or father, my mother-in-law and father-in-law. And there's just a lot of as prices go up in value, first-time home buyers aren't going to have as many options, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it gives them an opportunity to get in there, and their parents says, "Hey, we're just selling our 3,000 square foot house. Why don't we put the down payment on your $400,000 duplex, 2 properties, and you can live in one, and I can live in the other, and we can all have our family picnics in the backyard, and we can all do what we need to do." And I think it's kind of cool because it incorporates a little bit more family, because normally people will be, we're going to put our mother or our dad in a home somewhere and we're going to go visit them once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So
for me, it's kind of like, it makes, maybe I'm putting too much emotion and thought into it, but it makes a lot more sense.
No,
why pay for 2 mortgages and 2 home costs when basically I'm giving you an 800 square foot house and you can do what you want there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you're here. You can see the kids. You can see us.
And that sounds like a long-term wave that you're catching. That's gonna be.
I'm trying to ride this wave for a while, man, and it's. I've been doing it for 5 years.
Up on the board now.
5 years. I've been dealing on the board for a long time, just kind of trying to get to there. But it's starting to go. People are starting to catch on, and the cool thing is, with the town that I'm in, it's this very small town, so they see me and they roll their eyes.
Big impact.
Oh man, like, what are you up to now, right? Are
you like the troublemaker? Like,
no, I walk between 2 lines, but I know the rules. And the problem is when you're educated and you're focused on something, the rules, the lines can become a little bit blurry, right? And I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. If do we sell time?
Yeah, no, we have a ton of time. Yeah.
So here's the example. I bought a grow up for $220. 2 houses side by side, split down the middle, so a semi on either side, right? So kitchen, living room, dining room, bathroom, 2 sets of staircase, 2 bedrooms on each side, and a bathroom. Basement was completely open, 1,300 square feet of living space in the basement.
Wow.
9-foot ceilings.
Wow.
In the basement.
Separate entrance. So this is a grow up. They were growing weed there, so we had to go through all the process of getting rid of everything and fixing it up and certifying it. So I said, I'm going to redo the basement. They said, well, you're not allowed to put a triplex there. I said, okay. I said, I would like to apply for a permit, and this is going to be a wet bar. This is going to be a living room. This is going to be a dining room. This is going to be a workout room. This is going to be a den. This is going to be a library. 3 bedrooms, downstairs, kitchen, bathroom.
Yeah.
So I did all that. At the very end, the inspector comes in and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing down here? You can't put a third apartment." I said, I'm not putting a third apartment. He's like, "Well, it looks like it. You got a kitchen, you got a bathroom, you got 3 bedrooms. You know, you're gonna have to come down to the city hall and you're basically gonna give me an ass whooping, right?" I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." We go down there. There's like 4 people there, and they're all asking questions like, "What do you do? You're not allowed to do this." I said, "Listen, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. So let's hear what you got to say, and then we'll go from there. You're not allowed to rent it out." I said, "Yes, I am allowed to rent it out, but I have to rent the basement with the unit up above." One family, not 2. "Well, why would you want to do that?" I said, "It's very simple. Because I'm keeping this property. I'm going to hold it until the 407 comes in. So I'm going to rent the basement and the upstairs. But what I'm going to do now, because I had to pay cash for it as a grow up, I'm going to refinance it. So when the guy comes to refinance it, he's going to refinance it as 3 units, not as 2. Right?
What? Okay.
Got me?
Can you...
Okay, go back.
So the appraiser who's going to...
So I know that the market value for a triplex or a duplex in Whitby, the ones that we build, sell for $355 to $365.
Okay.
He came in and appraised the property at $420.
Wow.
So I already made my $70,000 profit off the basement. Yeah. So if I'm not renting that basement for the market value of $1,200, I'm only renting it for $400 because it's combined with the one upstairs. What do I care?
Yeah.
Because when I go to sell it, I'm going to get the value of a triplex.
Yeah.
Because the lenders...
It's huge.
Right? But I'm allowed to do this. And he says, "Well, you're walking a fine line." I said, "I'm not walking a fine line.
That's the rule.
These are the rules. I'm following your rules. I will not rent this. You can come here any day. I'll give you a key. You can come here any day, and there will not be a stove downstairs. Because you have to have a stove to classify as a third unit. There will be no stove here. I've actually disconnected the wire from the panel for the stove. So I'm going to keep building. I've told them, I'm going to keep building these." No, they said, "Well, you're not allowed." Yes, I am. I paid you my permit fee. I'm allowed to build these. Because I know for a fact,
So they're legally duplexes.
Yeah.
On the financing side, they look at them as
triplexes. So when I refinanced, I made $70,000 profit off that unit. So it cost me 30 or whatever, right? I made 40. So why do I care? Why do I care if the unit is not making the money? For number one, I know that...
Well, you already have 2 units rented, right?
That's right. Number one, I know there's 100,000 people moving here. So in 5 years from time, when 50,000 people move here, is it going to be better for me to sell a legal duplex with a 3rd suite? If they decide to rent it out to somebody else, that's their problem. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm above board. I've done everything above board. I paid for my permits. I've done everything you've asked me to do.
Yeah. And whoever you sell it to, whatever they do, it's their responsibility.
That's their problem, right? Just because
I've
given you a product doesn't mean you can rent it out. I'll tell you right away, you're not allowed to rent this. But if you want to rent it, how many illegal triplexes are there?
Yeah.
Thousands? Hundreds of thousands? So I'm going to keep building them because I know in 5 years or 10 years...
Freaking awesome. 5
or 10 years, they're going to skyrocket. So...
Wow.
Oh, man.
Value creation. That's where it's at.
No one got wealthy or done something very unique or different without ruffling a couple feathers along the way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I still stay within the boundaries, and they know me.
Rocking the boat, though.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, I said, "I don't want any problems because I have a book coming out." They're like, they all sit back. "What do you mean you have a book coming out?" So yeah, I have a book coming out.
So now they're on guard.
I don't want to tell anybody. I don't like, I just want to do my normal stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how'd that impact their attitude?
They were just like, because there's one, I think they just looked at it as, okay, this guy's gone from a crazy kind of contractor developer that we know to a guy that has a bigger voice than we thought. Yeah. We better shut up and kind of play nice, which they always play nice. It was just, I got a call from the inspectors the next day. "Make sure you say something nice about us in the book," right?
That's hilarious.
It's a little bit of pull. Like, I like that pull.
They have to, yeah.
Right? So that pull was interesting.
That's
amazing,
hilarious.
Man. Well, you know what? I mean, if you know the rules, you got to find your way. You got to find a way to make more value, make it happen.
Well, this is the thing. If they're not going to implement rules to provide this services for people, like, eventually, I think it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to go to the media and say, "Look, I live in this community. What is going to happen here? You have 100,000 people moving here. We have no land to build.
Screwed.
Where are you going to build? What are you going to do? Like, you're going to have people sleeping on the streets here? I don't know. What are you going to do?" And it's a constant battle, but because I know this is where I live, I invest where I live. I buy places, communities where I live, where I raise my daughter, right? So I'm very passionate about that neighborhood, and I'm very passionate about creating good livable space and creating value in the area.
Well, you're attracting really good quality people. When you have nice places like that, I mean, you're not gonna get the freaking people who are gonna, treat the place like crap and they cause trouble in the neighborhood.
And they can't afford it, right? Because the average rent is $800 for a 2-bedroom. I'm getting $1,150 to $1,200.
Wow. Yeah.
So you're getting someone that has a divorce or a separation, or someone that's moving from out of town. So I'm eliminating a lot of that risk, and
so it's really for the better of the community. It's better for the value of the neighborhood. It's better for the city, for all the people who are coming in.
Yeah,
there's a lot of freaking wins there. I see, man.
I think so. The beautiful part is I'm actually taking away the town's problems, like the grow-ups. That's their responsibility. If someone gets hurt in there, they're gonna get sued.
So and you're going there and fixing them up.
Yeah.
I told them, anytime you get somebody that complains about a property, you just give me their number. I'll take care of it for you guys. And I joke with them, right? And then they just look at me like, oh, we're not allowed to do that. I said, yeah, I know you're not, but
just do it.
If you happen to send me a text, I don't know who it's from,
Yeah.
Whatever.
It never happened, whatever.
Note on the door.
Oh man. And there's a ton of grow-ups. Like you take one down, there's more come up. So there's gonna be a ton of these places that
you know what? I would my experience with the grow-ups is they're really not that difficult. Like I didn't buy the one that you see that
that's mold and crazy.
That they have all the stuff lined up with the plants everywhere. They actually wrapped the whole place in a very thick plastic and taped all the seams, and they did it in the basement, and they had vents in and out. Like I've done less work on the grow-up than I have in hoarder houses.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because realistically, if you cover everything in plastic, if it's taped, if there's humidity going out and fresh air coming in, where's there going to be mold? I'll give you an example.
Sounds like there are like professional contractors building these things.
There are professional grow guys, right?
Yeah.
Which are fine. I'll be happy to follow these guys around and buy the houses from those guys. Just find out who the guys are, right? Yeah. But the funny
this is freaking hilarious.
The funny thing is you hire this scientist guy, and he comes in and he takes air samples. So I hired him and he came in, and it's about $6,000. It's not cheap. And he goes,
oh my god,
I can tell you by looking at it if it's going to pass or fail. I said, okay, so come in. He comes in, he looks at it. He goes, okay. He goes, you got to take all the drywall down in the basement. You got to put up new vapor barrier. You got to tuck tape everything. You got to buy 2 shop vacs with these special vacuums. And you got to vacuum the whole place top to bottom 3 times. Everything. The walls, ceilings, floors, everything. So we did that. And he has to take air samples in every single room, including the attic. Now, the attic floored me because every attic is filthy nasty, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is the attic going to pass an air test? I have no idea. We did all that. It passed.
Wow.
So,
because I mean, in the media, they always talk about like grow-ups are just,
Well, here's the issue that I have with the grow-ups in the media. Number one, what they don't tell you is when they get bought, they go to like a property management company. That property managed company has the contract to clean them.
Okay.
To strip them down, get them to the same point that I had mine done at with all the tests, and then they can sell them for close to market value. So who's making the money? Because they're not buying them for market value, right? So somebody's getting some kind of this is why you'll see as a realtor, you'll see grow-ups on the MLS, and they're ridiculously priced. Like they're not half the value.
Yeah.
Like they're like 25% off or 10% off or 30% off or something like that. Because what happens is they go there, the guy gets his money for cleaning it. That's, in my opinion, that's what's going on. The media has a sidetrack with somebody that's making the money off them, because anyone has grow up, these guys are the ones that go in and they're certified to clean them. Why?
Yeah.
Why
they're in there.
And if they're getting certified, this is my problem. This is my point too. If they're getting certified to being clean, which I could go build a 20,000 square foot house, it's nowhere near the standards that it has to be as an ex grow up. Like that's the elite standard. As a grow up, you need to jump through hoops to get this thing certified. Mm-hmm. But then when it's done, they still don't release it. So for example, mine is clear and ready. I still have to tell somebody when I sell it was an ex grow up.
Yeah.
But why?
If it's clean, if it's
good, been clean, it's better than any house on the street.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're not going to have these air test qualities. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous, really, right? But I understand that they're trying to protect people and it needs to be safe and all that stuff. But once you've passed that threshold,
yeah, it's old news. Like it's a new house,
right? And it's a very gray line. Like, do you disclose it? Do you not tell people it is? And there's really no defined line, so I can see why people get messed up.
Yeah, and as a realtor, if you're uncomfortable with something like that, like they just disclose it, right? And that's the right thing to do. If you have no idea, you got to say it.
Yeah. But the funny thing was, when I rented, I thought being an ex-grow-up, there'd be a lot of issues with tenants. No issues.
Nothing.
They're like, hey, here's the certification. It's passed. We'll take it. All right.
Wow.
I'm sure selling it, it'll be a different process, right? But I love grow-ups. I got nothing against it.
So you keep those and you rent them?
Yeah, well, I keep this grow-up.
So what makes you decide whether you're going to sell it or you're going to rent it?
Well, it all depends. It all depends on a couple of key things. Number one is I used to keep them all, and then I'd have no income. I'm like,
holy
okay,
crap!
What are you doing, idiot? Right? You got to sell some of them, right? Because I sweat on, make them nice. So I basically sell a couple to pay my bills and survive. And then what I do is the ones that are good that I know that are going to really go up in value, like that one, the 2 units side by side, and the one in the basement. 407's coming through Whitby in the next 2 years, so I know it's going to go through the roof. Same thing that happened to Vaughan, right?
Yeah.
407 came, ridiculous.
Exploded, yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to keep it. I pick a couple key ones. The one that we're building next, I'll probably keep that one, but I'll probably sell one of my older rentals that I've had for about 6 years that I've made, about $100,000 in equity. So I'll sell that. And then I kind of upgrade, right? So now that I have this plan of building one here and one in the back, I'm going to start offloading. At one point I had 12 properties. I only have 3 now. So
oh my gosh.
I'm not a good landlord.
You're really you're simplifying,
I'm not a good landlord. I believe in holding real estate for long term, but I don't believe in I'm the guy that needs to answer the phone or talk to these people sometimes.
Yeah.
It's bad enough I have to fix the grow ups and rebuild them and make them nice for you. And now I'm taking calls because there's touch ups that need to be done. You got the wrong guy. Sorry, wrong number.
So what are your what are your other interests? I know you have a young family. So aside from the real estate and the business and work, what else do you do with your time?
And working out.
It sounds like all you do is work out and work.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I like going to the lake and going for walks with my daughter. I like just spending time at home, man. I have a good balance now where before I was a workaholic. And I used to just go, like ridiculous, right? And then I said, life's too short for this nonsense. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a beautiful little daughter. I have a beautiful wife. I need to be home, right? My first default is to be home, right? I actually don't mind doing laundry. I don't mind cooking. I cook at home, so I do laundry. I cook. I do gardening. I'm a big grass fanatic. I'm like
awesome.
I'm like a 6-year-old Italian man out there. Like, don't walk on my grass, or I'll kill you, right? My new property has a huge lot, like 76 by 180. So I'm
nice.
excited to get myself a John Deere, and I can just get my daughter and
cool.
Just cruise, man.
I just do it together. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm big on living life. Like I'm big on. It's some people say, "Oh, you make $1 million a year, then you've arrived." Well, you know what? I've arrived now, and I don't care if I make $1 million to this year.
There's no
whatever.
going to arrive.
You know what I mean? I'm here, and I could be gone tonight.
Yeah.
So
you have no freaking clue.
It's more focused now. It's more when I'm with my daughter, she knows I'm with her. When I'm with my wife, she knows I'm with her. It's those key. That's what I love doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that whole, you make X amount and you're over. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Like if you spend that time, $1 million you get there. Yeah. Then once you get there, if you've spent that 2, 5, 10 years doing it, then it's like, oh no, million's not enough. When you get 5, then you get there, and then you expect another.
It's never enough.
Like it's never. Well, like if you're not taking the time and saying, listen, I'm here now. I've got one life to live. I'm going to live it now. Yeah. That's a trap.
If you're not happy with what you have, you don't deserve more.
Well, to be honest with you, the more success I've had is by stopping.
Yeah.
And saying no.
Saying no. Like even the books. I took time off. I relaxed. If I was working the way I was, this books would have never happened. I would never went away to Vancouver and worked to myself. I would never have time to work out.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's actually stopping. It's actually stopping and looking in the mirror, and like every day I say this mental thing to myself: Am I a good husband? Am I a good father? Am I a good friend? Am I doing good work? Am I helping people, or am I hindering people? They're just certain things that I say in order for me.
Important questions.
Yeah.
Keeping yourself in check.
And I'm listening to my heart and my gut more than ever. Very little my mind. My mind is I listen to it, but not as much as my gut or heart. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when I'm 80, the only thing I really want to do is build crazy good relationships. I want to inspire people. I want to be happy. and that's it. Nothing else really matters to me. You know, there's one thing that I want, materialistic thing that I want, is probably a cottage, because I think it's important for kids to grow up fishing and swimming, and that, I think if there was something, but I rent one every year, so do I really need to buy one now? But
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% know what you mean.
So what is your definition of success? I know we were talking about that earlier.
Okay, my definition of success is doing something that's fulfilling, that inspires other people, but not jeopardizing your family. Awesome.
That's wicked.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Like, do I make a lot of money? Am I going to make any money going across Canada? I'm probably going to spend $30,000. I'm not going to make. I'm not going to make any money
with the bus.
Yeah. But you know what? If one kid says, "Hey, this guy's all right," and I can learn something from him, and we can talk on the phone, and he can come from a bad environment and change, that's going to be something I'm proud of. I look at things now as if I'm 80. I look at stuff like now, if I'm 80, and work my way back.
Well, that's what I was thinking. All the things you were saying, like when I'm 80, I'm just like, you're doing those things now.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till 80 to do them now, right? But just continue, and you'll be doing them when you're 80. Yeah, because lifestyle, right? You build those habits and those thought patterns, and when you're 80, it's going to be the same.
Like, I see so many people that just go through life, right? And they work, and they're like old chefs.
They're missing it.
And then they retire, and then they do what?
Yeah,
you spend your whole life working. Right? And then you come home and you have dinner with your wife and you go outside and water the grass. Whatever. But what's going to happen when you retire? Are you going to be able to shut that off? No.
Yeah.
They can't shut it off.
Yeah.
It's like...
Not after 50 years, 60
of building
years
that
of
habit.
Doing that.
Yeah.
No.
Like, we calculated it's 2,000 hours a year of work. If you're working full-time, just 40 hours a week. That's 2,000 freaking hours. That's crazy. A year.
It's nuts.
That's huge. That's a quarter of your year you're working. So you got to be doing something fulfilling, man.
Well, anybody that's successful typically does stuff that they love. Like,
yeah.
I've taught Flip School, not under Flip School brand, for 6 years for free. I still do it for free. I would probably do it for free, but I'm actually, the reason I charge, to be honest with you, is because I want to get somebody that's serious. Because if you're going to pay $6,500, you're going to be serious. There, you're going to show up and do what you got to do, right?
Exactly.
So I just love doing it. Another thing that I'm really excited about is my wife's not as adventurous as me, and we just bought a new house, and we're going to tear it down in the next year or 2 years, and we're going to build a new one.
While you're living in it?
No, we're going to rent it, move into one of our rentals.
Okay. Yeah. And you're going to tear it down?
Yeah. So for my wife, I'm extremely proud because I think she can see the changes in me, and she's out of her comfort zone. Like, she's really out of her comfort zone. She's like, and my wife's a very gifted designer. She doesn't take credit for it. She has a design eye, and she actually designs a lot of our properties. She picks the colors.
Really?
And
cool.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, we bought a house that's in a really upcoming neighborhood where there's estate homes. We bought a very modest small house on a huge lot, and the houses beside us are worth like 1.4, 1.5 mil.
Oh my God.
So by me, I seen it, and I'm like, this is no brainer, man. We can make $400,000 here. I'm in.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just want a new house, but I don't know. I said, okay, you go in. If you think you can live here for a year, 2 years, then we'll do something. But I'm proud of her for stepping up because, you know, I put it in these terms when I was trying to get her to do it, right? I don't want to push her, but I said, when we have these fertility issues with our daughter, I said, we promised each other that we would do anything to inspire her. And we could sit back like everyone else and sit on our hands and work our 9 to 5 and give her a decent life. Or we can tell her, if you live your dream, if you fight for what you believe in, if you have love and respect and you have determination, it's not going to be perfect. You can do anything. And what's more inspiring to design your own house that your daughters can bring her friends to, and hopefully we have a son or another daughter or two of each,
yeah.
and a nanny over. You don't need baby factory, but you know what I mean. It's just I don't know. Like, for me, when you have some like a child that I'm in a position that there's no boundaries. People put these boundaries here. There's no boundaries. The boundaries are in your head. Do you know what I mean? Am I scared to rip down a house? A little bit. I've never done it. I've done one, right? And
you've done one tear down? So usually that you keep the bones, eh?
That one you sold was a tear down.
Yeah.
The little house.
Really? And that was the only tear down you've done?
That's it.
So you always leave the bones. You always leave.
Wow. Yeah. So for me, it's like, okay, now I'm building a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot house for the pickiest client ever, my wife.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the hardest contract ever.
I can't tell her, see you later.
Yeah.
She's like, we don't need 6,000 square feet. I said, listen, if we're building a house that's 3,000 square feet, to build the extra 3,000 square feet is not that much more money when you're doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's already like, she's collecting pictures now, and I'm probably shot myself in the foot, right? Because she's gonna be all these pictures of crazy ceilings and.
Oh man.
So I'm really
and so okay,
stoked.
so I know with your renovation projects you're going to minimum grade. This is your own house, so what are you gonna do? Like
same thing, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah? It's gonna be the same. I'm gonna.
Well, still, I mean, the way it shows is freaking spectacular.
Well, the thing is,
are you gonna do like a little bit extra? Or?
Oh yeah. We're gonna do like the whole house.
Customized.
It's gonna have heated floors. Like there's gonna be no furnace, so the whole house is gonna have radiant heat throughout the floors.
Awesome.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, even in the garage. So there's stuff we're gonna do, but most people don't understand. A house is just a shell, right? Like all these houses are built minimum code.
Yeah.
With contractors, it's a lot ego. Oh, I build it better than you, or I can build this wall stronger than you can build it. And that's the difference between what I have and the average contractor. I can see through that. That's not practical.
Yeah.
People aren't paying you for what's in the walls. They're paying for you for things they can see and feel.
Yeah,
right.
Totally. That's the home.
They feel it. Like those coffered ceilings, women die for that stuff. The wainscoting they die for. The hardwood floors they really enjoy, right? So I'm gonna build it minimum code, but it's gonna have expensive stone on the outside. It's gonna have vaulted ceilings. It's gonna have skylights. It's gonna be killer. I can't wait. Like I actually had designed it. My friend of mine. We're actually gonna have a meditation room.
So awesome. Oh my god!
So beside the gym, there's gonna be a small room where it's just a meditation room, and like all the windows are gonna be frosted, so you can't see out. And I have some crazy ideas.
Wow.
Okay, so how long are you gonna live there for? Like another 10 years, maybe?
I think we'll be there for a while. Like I don't think I want to move. Like
especially if you're making a custom home just for you.
And the cool thing is like there's really no rules.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna sell a bunch of our rental properties. We're gonna take all that money and we're just gonna take a year and we're gonna build it. And the cool thing for my wife,
that's so awesome.
It's like she has such a gift. And we were looking for houses for 5 years, and she can't find one she likes.
Wow,
she finds elements that she likes. She's very particular, and she's very good at what she does. So I'm like, okay, how would you like? The funny thing was she was kind of playing small, and she didn't want to accept it, and it was too fast. And I said, okay, let me give you a quick scenario. I go outside my house, I knock on your neighbor's door and say, listen, we're going to sell our house. We're going to move into another house. I'm going to build you whatever house you want. You just tell me what you want and I'll build it. And I'm going to give you $400,000 cash. Do you want the deal? Yes or no? I said, how many people up and down the street would take that offer? She goes, they're going to call the cops on you. You think you're nuts. I said, probably, but I bet you a lot of people would take that offer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm really proud of her. I guess I should be proud of myself for portraying this image so she can feel strong in this, right?
Absolutely. So it sounds like you've got a really good relationship with your wife. All the things that you've been through. You guys are with your daughter now, and then now with the new house. Yeah,
it's awesome. Like it's always a work in progress. Nothing's perfect, right? Yeah. Like we have arguments like everybody else. We have things that I need to work on and she needs to work on, and I think the coolest thing for me now is she'll bring up concern and I used to deflect it, and now I accept it. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Before I used to say whatever, I know what I'm doing. We're totally different personalities, right? But now she's a very smart woman, and I should have listened to her a long time ago.
That's why you married her.
That's right.
I find that it's the same thing with Michelle and myself. Very different personalities, but she's the talker. I have to listen all the time. I'm okay with that. Yeah, she's a very smart woman. I just got to listen to what she says.
She is. But the crazy thing is, a lot of times it's not listening to my wife. That's the problem. If somebody else would say it, like Philip, then I would listen to him.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly,
right?
Yeah.
It's a spouse thing, right? It's well, he says it, so that must be right. And then she's like, I've been telling you that stuff for like 4 years now. You know that, right? Yeah, I know that.
It sounds different coming from a third party.
It does.
Definitely.
It does.
Well, it's different when you're talking to somebody who doesn't have that emotional attachment to you, right? Because when somebody's telling you advice, if they have that emotional attachment to you, then taking it, you always have that. Oh, they're coming from another angle. Like
that's right.
They're tainted because
this guy's deep, eh? You're good, man.
Yeah, Michelle and I would talk a lot. But no, I mean, we talked about that a little bit last week with Joey. You got to get on the bandwagon, man. You got to have that partner. But it's different when you have, a partner, a wife, somebody that compliments you, but also challenges you, and taking advice from that person, also talking to. It's a different dynamic. It's fantastic, but it's there are challenges.
Well, it's very unique because I've been with her since I was 16. So you can imagine I'm the guy that was learning disabilities, and in school. I almost dropped out of school.
She saw you change.
She helped me, like, because she's actually she's a caseworker. So she's been to university for 5 years. She has a psychology degree. So she helped me get through school. Like, I almost failed high school. Like, I met her and I was a badass kid and in trouble, and she was like, I don't know what she seen in me back then, but the funny thing is we've changed so many times, right? Like, from 16 to I'm 36 in August.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Right? Like, I've known her more than half my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
so it's pretty
huge.
It's pretty cool to see how we change and evolve,
and you guys grow and change together.
yeah. Sometimes it's a little rocky in there, but you know what? It's a beautiful thing, and I think the biggest thing that strengthened our marriages was the bad times with the fertility stuff. When, you know, it would have been easy for me to go out and get a divorce or cheat on my wife or do other things. No one would have even thought twice of me. I could have came home and told my whole family, oh, me and Tanya are getting a divorce. That's it. It's over. She could have done the same thing.
Fuck.
But we didn't. We fought through it, like, hard, man, like, to the death, where points were like, we almost went bankrupt. You know, there was a lot of stuff going on there. And at that really, really bad point, we had the option to either fight or turn back, or do what most people do and just say, well, we're getting a divorce, and you know what, I'm going to
Throw in the towel.
I'll see you later, right? But
you guys fought.
We fought, and now we're reaping the rewards, right?
Yeah.
We have a daughter, and
all
now
those seeds.
we're building a house, and all that heartache and karma, it comes back, right? And that shaped who I am today, and I don't think I would ever be able to do the book or without that pain. Like, anytime someone's successful, they have to go through mostly a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a lot of belief in yourself? Like, did you just like truly believe like this is gonna happen? Or was it?
I'm very determined, but it's bad in ways, because I had this in me that, well, I can go back in history. Basically, when I was born 3 pounds. Like, I was clinically pronounced dead twice.
Wow. Are you fucking
when you were born?
Yeah, I was born 3 pounds, like 4 ounces.
Premature?
Wow. Yeah, 1976. So
how many years? How many months?
I was 4 months or 5 months premature.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Holy.
So I lived in the hospital
Dude.
for 3 months, right?
Fucking
so I always have this thing in me that it sounds really weird, but it's like, I'm here to do something bigger than just flip houses. I'm here to do something bigger. I'm here to do something
You're
bigger.
Here for something.
I'm here to do something bigger. And that would haunt me. Like, I'd have dreams, right? And like, I'm painting houses for $15 an hour. This is not who I should be. This is a good place to be and where I need to be, but I need to be somewhere else. And until the only person, like, I met Philip, that I kind of trust. I really trust, not kind of trust. I really trust. And it was just, I needed someone to pull it out. I needed somebody that I trusted, that I could go to deep, dark, nasty places, that wouldn't look at me weird, and we could still have conversations after, and that could help me. And the only way you can rebuild is by digging in places you don't want to be. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it was your music you didn't. I don't know. I'm just speaking out loud, but maybe your music was something that scared you, or me, it was like standing on stage and talking was a big thing for me. It was like one of those hurdles that once I got to and I could accomplish it, I thought, you know, like, when I'd speak, I'd feel like throwing up, and I couldn't sleep 2 nights before, and like, I had all these things. Like,
were there like stories that you kind of told yourself when you were a little kid about how life is, that kind of stuck to you, and that you had to go back and kind of figure out, work through?
No, I think it was more of it was more of childhood things. When I was younger, my parents, they went bankrupt, and I had to clean buildings. So like, when I was 10, I had keys to actual physical buildings, and I had to go in and clean them.
At 10 years old?
Myself, yeah, 10 or 11, 12. So I had keys. Like, I didn't know this was
God,
right? Like, I didn't have it like.
You thought that's what?
Well, like, we were gonna lose our house. My dad was like, "Yeah, you gotta go clean this building," and we used to ride my bike there, and I used to go and clean them.
Right? Wow!
Oh my God!
So like, there's just things in everybody's life that holds you back from being who you need to be, right? And until you kind of put that in perspective, it's kind of a weird thing. But I'll give you another example. I was a chef, right? So in my house, which is this kind of personal story or whatever, in my house, my wife doesn't cook. She married a chef. So she doesn't cook. That's not her skill. She doesn't do that, right? So I used to have an issue when we had our daughter. I was like, well, you know, now we have a daughter. Like, I guess you're going to start cooking or whatever. And she's like, well, I don't know. You know, you cook. You cook way better than me. You cook every night. What's the big deal? And I had this mental block. and told Tanya, she said to me, she goes, look, just because I don't cook doesn't mean your daughter's not going to learn how to cook. She needs somebody to teach her how to cook. And it doesn't need to be me. It could be you. Right? So it was just a perspective somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like a light went off. It's just basically
basically
it's just like Philip is like a security guard for my soul. If I cross the line, he knows where I'm going, right? If I cross the line or I try to persuade things or I'm doing this, he can call his bullshit in like 30 seconds. He's like, you're full of shit. You're just hiding. You know, we have a good relationship. Like I'm friends with him, and but it's all this stuff out is smoke and mirrors, man. You know what I mean? The only thing that truly matters is what's going on in here and in here, and you need to.
So a lot of that stuff doesn't faze you. I mean, so like what other people are thinking.
It used to a lot.
What they're saying about you.
Big time. Yeah, it used to affect me a lot, and I used to spiral. I used to worry about, because I'm more of a people person than I am of anything else, and I used to worry what people thought. Oh, does he think I'm fat? Does he think I'm an idiot? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I used to second guess, and where the running came in is like when I'd be working on a project and second guess. Oh, we're not gonna get this done in time, or that's not me, right? That's my insecurity talking. That's not me. I don't talk like that, right? In my brain. So when I started running, that's when everything gets put in the file folder. You know what I mean? If I wasn't confident, if I wasn't driven, I couldn't run right now. Okay, I'd be sitting at home, my fat ass eating chips, watching TV. Okay, so you know what? Shut the fuck up and get in line.
So a lot of it feeds itself. So it's like the running feeds. Well, the running inspires you to eat better. Eating better inspires you to run more and work out more. And the energy that you create from there helps you produce better results in your work and your business. And that in turn helps you with your relationships and your personal life. And
it does. It's like a huge circle, right? And once one of them's missing, like my fitness was missing, so it would never fire on all cylinders, right? I'd be firing on, like, if it was an 8-cylinder, I'd be firing on 5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
But now that I understand that, like, I bring my running stuff to work, and at lunch,
in between,
if I feel like crap, if I feel like I'm having a low energy day or I'm feeling down or whatever, I just strap my shoes on and I go, man. And I come back and I'm better.
It's like a new person. You're like a
because
new day. It's like a new day.
It's putting things in perspective. It's like my gauge to say, where am I mentally at? You know what I mean? Am I feeling strong? Am I feeling weak? Am I feeling tired? Am I feeling insecure? And it helps me put it in. Some days I just go to work, and at 2:00 I need to go for a run, or I need to go for a swim. I need to do something for me.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the weird thing is people are like, well, how do you make a living then? Right? Like,
but that's how.
I think
because you can come back stronger and better, fitter, better, happier.
Yeah.
Like
it's a weird process that a friend of mine were talking about the other day, and I'm like, do people get really successful because they figure this out, or they have no choice because they get burnt out? Right? If you think about it, if you think about it, right?
They get burnt out, they just crash and burn, and it's like, oh my god, I gotta do something about that.
Yeah.
Do you like go away regularly outside of the Vancouver?
Yeah, I do. I really like Mexico. We go a lot. We haven't been
like a couple times a year.
Yeah. We try to go twice a year. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love.
Where are you headed to next?
Well, I'm going to Vancouver next week, and then after that,
nice.
My friend Xander, he's moving to Jamaica for a year.
Oh my god!
So we're taking the whole family, and we're gonna go.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna go visit for a while.
Yeah.
What's bringing them to Jamaica?
Well, Xander's wife's Jamaican.
Okay.
And her father lives there. They have a beautiful house. We actually wrote part of the book there, Fix and Flip, for 10 days.
In Jamaica.
That's an inspiring place to write, eh?
Oh man, it was awesome.
That's cool.
It was awesome. So. His wife is very gifted, Robin. She's very gifted with kids. So she's doing training programs for kids. So if someone comes to write a book, you would stay with Xander and you would focus writing your book, and your family would stay, and they have like a little house there. Their family would stay in the house, and then she's a very good educator for private schools in Edmonton. So she's designing a program for kids to see culture in Jamaica.
That's wicked.
Oh my god!
So they're going to be doing
inspiring.
They're doing some crazy blogs about living different lives, and they're selling everything. They're selling everything they have in Edmonton, and they're selling
all their investment properties.
They have like one property they're going to keep, and they're going to rent it out. But they're selling all. They already got rid of one car. Yeah, they're going down there, and they're going to kill.
Wow.
So he's gonna be blogging.
Sander, man, that's freaking
Sander's
awesome.
the man.
Hats off to you,
I love
bro.
Sander. So that's his dream, right? He's like a world traveler kind of guy, but he got stuck in the rut of buying real estate and being a realtor and all this other stuff. So, and then he just got real. He started doing his passion. He started writing books. That's his passion. He says, I can write books anywhere, right? I can write books in Jamaica. And why not have my people that want to write books fly down, stay in my house, and I can write them. Like he wrote, well, the book is 50-50, Mark and me. We went down there for 10 days. He wrote my portion of the book in 10 days.
In 10 days?
Wow.
10 days.
Wrote it?
Wrote it.
What the hell, man?
So he's like...
What's in his freaking...
We were doing push-ups. He got me started running. This was like a year and a half ago. We were doing hill sprints. And I threw up. I almost threw up. And he said, you're not allowed to throw up, man. So...
Oh, man.
It's wicked, though. Like... you got to dig deep, man. You got to surround yourself with people that are there for you and only you and not your money or your good looks or your fancy car. You know what I mean? They're just there for you. And if you can surround yourself with those people and trust them and be vulnerable and give up key secrets, you know, you're in an amazing place.
Well, I can say personally that you're one of those guys for me.
Thank you.
That, you know, I'm a huge fan of yours and watching you and like from maybe 3 or 4 years that I've known you and the growth and the change. That freaking inspires me.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
And your story is unbelievable.
Yeah, seeing the things you've been doing lately, it's a fantastic seeing the changes.
It's hard. It's really hard, buddy. But you know what? My grandkids will appreciate it. And you know, I want to. I'm looking at generational change, man. I have an opportunity. I have the same fears that my great grandfathers have, and I have the same insecurities that they have, right? And most people don't understand how that works, but. For me, I'm eliminating that shit right now, and I'm taking control of it, and I'm taking the responsibility that they didn't take for themselves, and I'm here to fix that.
Oh my god, man!
And I'm just here to move forward, man.
Wicked.
Your grandkids, your great grandkids are gonna freaking thank you, man.
You know what? Sometimes things are really worth fighting for, right? And I'm fortunate enough that I have the support from you guys and friends and family that give me great compliments that fuel me and help me. Put that stupid crazy vest on and run my ass up crazy hills and want to die and throw up. But you know what? There's no bigger gift than being able to change history, right? Like that's a pretty phenomenal thing to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Changing lives.
Cool. Well, so how can everyone find you? Are you on Twitter or you're on Facebook?
The best thing is probably Facebook, to be honest.
Facebook.com/Ian Szabo.
I think it's Flipschool.
Is it?
I don't even know how that works.
Flipschool?
We'll find out.
But or Ian Szabo. If they type in Ian Szabo, they'll probably get me on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
The other way.
Flipschool.ca.
Flipschool.ca. Yeah.
And make sure to pick up the book.
The book's good.
Reno's.
And if they don't believe I was fat before, look at the back.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay? It's not a misprint. Someone asked me, "You made a mistake with the camera. It's all messed up, eh?" I said,
"No,
I was messed up, brother. That's not the camera's fault."
That's amazing, man. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude.
Oh man, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm really glad that you.
This thing's getting slow.
It's all right, man. Ian Szabo at Flips, or Ian Szabo at Facebook, or
Ian, SCABO, IAN, SCABO.
Does it say his URL on there? Or?
I don't know. I just have the name.
You know what? Just Google him.
That's
just
right.
Google it.
Yeah, Ian Szabo, SZABO.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'm like, anyone has any questions about flipping houses or real estate investing, I'm happy to answer. But sign up to Facebook because that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. I really don't check my emails, to be honest, with anybody. So
yeah, so don't even try, guys.
Just go to
post on its wall.
Go to Facebook and send me a question. I'd be happy to give back.
Wicked.
Nice.
All right, man. Is there anything else?
We're gonna talk about Burrito Boys.
Burrito Boys. Yeah.
Sure.
So we had. So Ian came down to Brampton, and what was it? Did you just see pictures of it, or?
I just heard you guys on Facebook all the time. Oh, we just had burritos and Burrito Boys. I seen you guys eating.
They put pictures.
Yeah, I was like, these bastards, man. I need to get some of these burritos. We don't have any burritos.
They don't have that shit in
We don't have nothing in Whippy except Mickey D's, and no one wants to eat that stuff.
Nobody eats that anymore. That's old school.
That's right.
So you talked a little bit about your nutrition plan. Are you following like a certain, it sounds like kind of like a paleo diet kind of thing? Are you following anything specific, or it's just sort of what you know from the past?
I think it's basically stuff that I've known from the past, like as being a chef.
Doing
some nutritional stuff. But to be honest, I'm kind of I've noticed energy is kind of slowing down a bit. And I think it's because I'm doing a lot of working out and not enough consuming the right stuff.
Right nutrients.
Even though I eat clean, it's probably I need to eat a lot more fish and a lot more chicken. And I'm noticing now that I've lost a lot of weight. It's my energy isn't up to where it needs to be. So I'm actually consulting with someone to. There's somebody else I'm relying on, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's good. You get to get that expert information
Yeah.
from somewhere else. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the food I eat normally really clean. Like breakfast, I have like yogurt and what's that stuff? Oats and like oatmeal. Not oatmeal. What is it? Like granola. And berries, and then I have flaxseed oil and I have hemp oil and hemp hearts. That's that's what I have for breakfast, right? And then I have usually a couple eggs, and then I have good snacks, usually a piece of fish and some salad for dinner. But I'm eating very clean, but I got some improvement there. I need. I'm working out like an athlete. I need to eat like an athlete. I'm not just some guy that.
Sounds like you might not be taking enough calories. You might need more.
Do you have like a nutritional advisor or something like that?
That's who he's talking about. He's looking.
I missed that part.
I'm looking at getting someone just to kind of set up. My sister used to be a trainer, personal trainer, so she's probably gonna maybe help me set something up. I think it's just that because I lost so much weight, I wasn't eating a lot of carbs, and I was eating really clean, and I lost so much weight. I need to start implementing carbs now because I'm running, basically over 20K
you need energy.
A week, over 20K a week, right, with weights. And I'm working out, and I haven't changed my diet. Yeah. So now it's time to
sustain the energy. You have to have the good, like clean carbs, really good carbs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Clean carbs.
I used to eat a ton of pasta. I haven't eaten pasta in a long time. And my friend came over and watched my daughter for one night because Tanya and my wife went out. We had pasta, and then the next day we ran 12K. I felt great. Right, because I ate all this pasta and bread and stuff the night before, but it gave me enough carbs to keep going. To go
the next day.
Keep going, right? So
that's awesome.
But it helped.
Maybe next time we meet up, we should go do a run or something like that. We should go.
Do that. I'm not doing no 12K.
12K.
Have you been running? You haven't been running.
No, I haven't been running.
12K is
hard.
I've
just been doing yoga, man.
12K, yeah. 12K
is hard. Like at the end of like 11K, I started slowing down, and I was.
I like 5K.
Yeah,
5K because it's like that's a quick run, like in and out.
5K is really good. Like I did 5K yesterday with a 24-pound vest, and I'm going to do 5K tomorrow with 36 pounds.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
But dude, there's something about like as soon as you reach like past like the 7, 8, 9K point, I find that your brain is like it starts changing. Like what you're thinking about, like your clarity, you're just a fucking machine.
No, you're
just running. You're just a machine.
RoboCop, man.
Yeah. You're not even there anymore. Like your legs are going by themselves. Yeah. It's like it's on automatic.
I think it's like adrenaline. Eh? I think your body's like, okay, I don't know what's going on now, but you just keep going.
Yeah, you keep running. It's like, there's no saber-toothed tiger behind you, but you just...
Yeah. We've been doing this for the past 30, 40 minutes. Just freaking keep going.
Keep going. But it's not fun. Like the 12...
It's not fun?
The 12K, like after, for me... I went from 5.
No breaks. No,
we do breaks.
Okay.
I do like 10 minutes on and 1 minute walk.
Okay.
I need to do breaks. And I slow it right down to like, I think we do a kilometer in 7 minutes.
Okay.
Which is slow, right? Like usually we do in 4 or something.
Do you monitor a bunch of shit? Like I know when I was running, I was so like crazy. I had like a heart rate monitor, watching my heart rate. I had like my iPhone. It was kept like telling me how many kilometers I'm running.
Yeah, I have the iPhone app like Runtastic or whatever. And
Runtastic? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't have my phone. It's in there, but I think it's called Runtastic.
I map my run. I got
it's like $2.99.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's wicked. Like it tells you how long you're running, what pitches you're running at.
What?
How many kilometers?
It knows?
Yeah, it knows everything.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, it does like GPS. And it's cool because the feature it has on it is once you've done your challenge, Xander and a couple guys out west that I know, you can send them a share thing and it says you've been challenged. I just ran 5K in 24 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, it's to compete.
And then they start. Then we have a push-up one that we do now, so I'm doing like 150 push-ups a day. And
what?
Yeah, I send that to them. Like not consistently. Like I'll do like 30 and then 20.
30 here, 20. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool for the push-ups. That's why I want to start doing. That's what I want to start implementing.
The app's good, man, because you know what? The app keeps you accountable, and you look at it, and you're like, man, I got to do my push-ups today, even though you're lazy and tired.
It's important to track that stuff. I mean, if you don't know like where you're at and how well you're doing, you don't know where to improve from. You don't know what the next level actually is. Yeah,
the hard part is I'm implementing karate too. I go to karate once a week, so
I'm
implementing that. So I'm trying to figure out now. I'm at
when did you start karate?
I did karate. I've done like martial arts basically my whole life, like on and off. But the karate part is I haven't been there for like 6 months. So now it's my first class back tonight. I'm gonna get my ass worked.
What belt are you right now?
I'm a low belt. I'm only a yellow belt.
Yellow belt. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing is, I'm trying to figure out now where running fits in, where the push-ups fit in, where the diet fits in.
I know.
Because now I'm doing
So
things
many
that
things.
I'm doing so much training for this Tough Mudder and everything. I need somebody like this trainer's gonna help
To
me.
manage that.
He's gonna overlook it. I've given him everything, including my diet stuff, and he's gonna. Because I could be doing too much now. Now I'm getting maybe too much running.
Yeah.
He already
Yeah.
said you're running too much now. Like, you got to
Like-
slow your running down and hit more weights and do plyometrics and push-ups and chin-ups. And,
Yeah.
Plyometrics will
goal-
make you puke, dude.
yeah.
Depends what the goal is. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
Awesome.
I got to
man.
implement some of that stuff in push-ups.
I'll show you the apps, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take a look at that app.
Yeah.
Because I know the Nike one. I just use the Nike one, and I'm just recording through that,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Oh, it's good.
I use that one for a long time.
The good thing is the motivation, right? Because you're sending an email to Xander when he's getting it, and then the next day he sends you one. So then
Yeah.
you're like, all right,
Dude, Mike Gillespie, I think he might be on the show next week.
wicked.
But he's running like crazy too. You watching him?
He
Mike,
did like
yeah.
18K.
He did 18K the other day. What the? This guy's crazy.
He's
So, yes.
built like a runner, that guy, though. Like,
I
he's
know.
He
tall
is
and lean. And it's like,
lean, yeah. Yeah.
He's
He's
like-
been
he's
doing a
a
lot of
machine.
P90X as well.
he has?
Yeah.
I think he does, instead of the cardio days, he does the runs like 2 times.
Oh,
a
is that
week,
what?
I think,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
On
So
some
instead
days.
of like.
But yeah, my
triple
my
X.
personal best is 16K. I haven't done anything further than that. This year I haven't gotten into the running. I've been so addicted to yoga.
Yeah, you've been doing yoga.
Yeah.
But
Have
the
you
yo-
tried? Have you tried
I
yoga?
haven't, no, but there's a new yoga place by our new house. And
Oh, Whitby's
my wife-
catching the bug, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife wants to
Nice.
go, so we're gonna probably.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be
Be
a
a
good
different.
compliment.
It'll be a nice balance for you
Yeah.
from what you're doing. I think it'll complement it all, like a lot.
Think so?
Yeah, totally.
Well, if you can, I mean, you've mentioned you've already done meditation and stuff like that, so it'll probably be really easy for you to get into the yoga. The hard part, I know, for like you and Michelle, the hard part for getting into yoga is like shutting the mind down and just concentrating on breathing and concentrating on the postures. But
It takes a long time to get to shut your freaking brain off.
yeah, once you can get to that point, like if you've been
Because
meditating,
the whole thing
you
is
can
your
do
brain has to be like off, because when you're doing yoga, like it's everything, your whole body. You have to be so aware. Like the instructor will say something and you gotta like readjust your shoulder or like whatever your position is, and like tiny little things make such a big difference. And like it really increases your awareness of your body, which I think is awesome. You're working out muscles that normally wouldn't, and it's awesome, man.
It's there's some
just have to
crazy
say.
stuff in there, though. Like my friend does like ridiculous. He does the 3-minute handstand.
Wow.
For 3
nice.
minutes.
What?
Yeah, and he does push-ups like that in the handstand position.
That is
These
messed
are the crazy
up.
people that I run with. You wonder why I throw up and they
That's
say,
why
keep,
you're.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what keeps you
that's
inspired,
why I
right?
throw up and they say keep
That's
running.
what keeps you going.
What
Yeah.
do you mean keep running? I can't even breathe right now. I'm throwing up. You want me to run? Are you insane?
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Holy crap.
I gotta get into some
I
yoga.
have a good way of picking the right people to push me, I think. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It sounds like you've really surrounded
You're
yourself
good at
with the
choosing
right
your
people.
teammates. That's for sure.
It's important.
Cool, man. So it's about 3:15. How
When did we
time
start?
flies, man. 1.
Oh wow,
Like
that's the
5 after
longest
1?
show.
2 hours, eh?
Yeah.
Over 2 hours.
Okay.
That's a
Wicked,
long one.
man.
All right, boys.
Dude,
Thanks.
Thank
man.
you,
it was
sir.
a pleasure having
Thanks,
you.
man. Good seeing you, man.
Freaking awesome, man.
It's
Thanks
been
for
awesome
agreeing
being
to
here.
come.
Oh, anytime, man. I'd love to come back.
So Flipschool.ca, Renos to Riches
That's right.
in Amazon.
Yeah.
And here, I'm going to go turn this
Best
thing
selling real estate book on Amazon.
off. All right.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Best-selling real estate book on Amazon.
Wicked, man.
Yeah.
It just
Got a
keeps
best-selling
growing.
author here.
All right, say bye, guys.
See
Take
you
it easy, guys.
Take it easy.
We'll see you next week.